coming to you from mile 95 of the inaugural Hood 100, where I am pacing my husband on his first 100, and we are almost there. Please enjoy this episode of Tea and Trails with Gary Thwaites and Edwina Sutton.
Thanks, Molly. Beautiful Oregon trails. Oh my goodness me, that looks sensational. Sensational pacing too. And kudos to your husband for completing his first 100 miler. Welcome to episode 84 of the Tea and Trails podcast. You asked, so we delivered. This week,
very rarely happens.
This week, we are joined by my wingman, my bestie, my trail bestie, Robbo Neil Robinson.
What a joy that was. The triad, the duo becomes the triad. And thank you to our Patreon partners who share discount codes with our Patreons. We have Precision Fuel and Hydration, Velo Forte, Protein Rebel, Tiki Boo, Mountain Fuel, Outdoor Active, Silver Sweden, Active Route, the Centurion Running Store, sportshoes.com, Big Bubble Hats, X Miles, Fallside Farm Cottages, Yugoku Projects, Hellfire Events, Red Bear Sports, the Alban app, Retainer Group Cycle Protection, Summit Crazy, Beat It Sports, Lumi Activewear, Phoenix Lights, UK, Bridgedale Socks, Nav4, Knack Nutrition, and Ultra Trail Chew. Extra shout out to Precision Fuel and Hydration and Protein Rebel. We use their products. We write in the script every month. I use their products every day to help fuel, hydrate, and recover. I have already had a bottle of electrolyte plus my 3 scoops of protein, but you've got to get the right balance of that too, because it's quite sweet. I have the vanilla. Do you have the vanilla?
I think there's just one flavour. Yes.
Oh, is there? Sorry. You don't need to add anything else. I really enjoy it too. I think I always see baking with like protein to make like protein cupcakes and stuff. And I think, I should try that. And then I realized.
Never done it.
I realized, let's be realistic, Eddie, you struggle to fold pants. Not going to make cupcakes, are you?
I needed some electrolytes the other day, actually. I did my gym session. I was just really dehydrated. So, yeah, just chugging on electrolytes the rest of the day. I'm curious, do you think, obviously, this is a big yes, I suppose.
Whoa, we're recording, remember?
Yeah. An
what
event
are you
like
curious
Lakeland 100, super curious. Would a business say like Precision Fuel and Hydration, would they see a big spike in sales a week or two before Lakeland 100? Or do you think they're just selling so much over the world that they don't even really
I wonder if it's big enough. London Marathon, for sure.
Wow.
For sure.
Who's the gel sponsor for those guys? Is it Lucozade?
Sports Inside. Do they do gels? Do they give out gels at London Marathon?
That's really bizarre because, I'm pretty sure or it has been when I've done it. They did Lucozade.
Do you remember that? And when you ran through it, it was so sticky on the floor where everyone had dropped their...
They had one year I did it. They had like a Lucozade balloon.
Yeah.
I thought that was great, but it obviously didn't catch on because nobody. But I would never. But I suppose the point is, Lucozade put a lot of money into the London Marathon, but I don't think I've ever physically purchased a Lucozade gel.
Only when you were. No, but when you were poorly sick, do you remember when you were little and your mum or dad would be like, "Right, try a bottle of Lucozade," and you'd be like, "Get it."
Well, I had a conversation just the other day. We had a conversation with somebody about this, and I remember Lucozade, that classic with the squeaky wrapper, being sensational, but he remembers it as quite triggering because it
was always when he was sick.
Yeah. If you'd like to save some money, support the podcast and our partners, then please consider joining Patreon. We couldn't do this without you guys. Also, pop over to Summit Crazy if you would like to buy some awesome Tea and Trails merch.
Thank you to Precision Fuel Hydration, X Miles, Phoenix Light, and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. You'll hear them pop up throughout the show. Have you seen the stickers that Precision Fuel Hydration have just... I can only imagine where those stickers would go if I brought those home and left them out on my desk and the kids would be like, "Oh, can we have these? Can we have these?" I really got it because I'm always saying to, especially for long runs and recovering from hard sessions, I always go to my clients, "What did you eat?" I'm always, they must go, "No, Eddie, everybody else is." And then when if they don't answer, I'm like, "What did you eat? I'm still here. Hello, hi there, sports fan. What did you eat?" Plan that long run fuel. Don't just grab something. Work out how many hours going uphill, the intensity. Work out before what you're going to eat, and then it's much easier at the end to know what you've eaten when you ate it, to make a little bit of a strategy. With those stickers, if you're that sort of person, you could also use those to like plan. And you could also, if you're like me and you very kindly get people to crew for you and you don't have to explain, you can just go, there's pictures.
Yeah.
Use the pictures.
Anything to take the load off mentally. Think
anything. You don't need to write 2 gels. You could stick the stickers on. You can stick them on like your little packs to help it work. And often, you do all that planning, you make all those packs, you might bring half of it back again with you. But I don't think any of that is wasted time, because it's all mental preparation, even if you then change your plan, or you don't change your plan at all and you just don't eat anything, as we will discuss in this week's entry. But it's all mental preparation. It's all seeing yourself on the course, working out when you're going to fuel, etc. So if you like that sort of stuff, I know like everybody prepares. I've got clients that like love a spreadsheet. They'll have like 4 or 5 different tabs. Eddie, can you look at this? Can you look at this page? They like and some are like, I've written it on a post-it note. It's somewhere, everybody is different, and that's cool. We're all different. We don't need to all work in the same way, but you cannot go into an ultra without having put a little bit of thought into, I think the fueling is almost more important than the pacing, the actual fueling plan. Or spending all that time like working out how fast you're going to go between the checkpoints. If you're not putting anything in your system and working out when you're going to throw it away. All learnings though, isn't it, Gaza? All learnings. Have you had time to chat with Emily about, did she give you a little cuddle?
A little Zoom cuddle. Yeah, it was great. Very sympathetic from Emily. And it was great. Fundamentally, the strategy was fine, but not having a plan B obviously was a big
well, you probably did have a plan B, because you could have eaten at the checkpoints more, but you just didn't engage the brain to initiate.
Well, it made me sick. That type of food was not going down well. I think the plan B was basically have some kind of liquid calories that I could consume. That would give me a bit more than Coca-Cola. On race day for 13 Valleys, I'm going to reduce the amount of carbs I eat, introduce some liquid calories, but alternate between liquid calories and electrolytes. But during training, those long runs, I'm still going to try and hit those 90 grams of carbs per hour. But on race day, drop it down to between 60, maybe 61 hour, 90 the other, various. So ultimately, maybe average it out around that 70 grams of carbs per hour. It was interesting though that Baby Bells didn't feature at all in the feedback from Precision Fuel and Hydration. Apart from...
Stick some Precision Fuel and Hydration stickers on them, and then you can fuel yourself that they're sports nutrition.
Yeah. Apart from, if you literally just can't take anything else, and that is going to be a good way of getting some calories in, and it just cuts through that repetition, that food fatigue that you get from gels for an hour.
And you won't be able to get that wax wrapper off, fellas, when it's pissing down with rain. So you'll be like, that'll give you at least 4 miles of carrying it while you're waiting to go, where's a good spot for me to try and unwrap this? She told me to eat this cheese.
But Baby Bell, oh my goodness, yeah, sensational product. I will be trying that out actually. Hopefully got the lakes this weekend if I can be bothered to jump in the car. Yeah, so I might take some Baby Bells with me. Patrons, you get 15% off over at Precision Fuel and Hydration. Also, if you would like to try Precision Fuel and Hydration, the new customers can get 15% off their first order with the code T24. Super simple in all caps, T24. And new Protein Rebel customers can enjoy 15% off their first order with the code T15. That is not all caps. That is capital T, lowercase EA, and the number 15. Links to all our sponsors can be found in the show notes and over at www.tandtrails.com.
How was the trauma of the race? Do you remember where I talked a few months ago? You ever listen to what I say? But when we do these mega races, they sit at the front of your brain for quite a few weeks after the race, and they're like all you can think about, and memories keep coming back. And it's quite like life takes a little time to move on.
Still there, Eddie.
Is it still there? Are you still reliving it? Is this helping? Yeah, I mean, talk to me every day.
It's not overly... I think the fact that 13 Valleys is looming, and obviously it's like 7 weeks away now, that is a big distraction and a welcome distraction. You know, when you mourn a race after it's gone, you have this big void in your life. Obviously, that has filled really quickly with 13 Valleys training. It's just the fact I didn't have the tools on the day to correct the problems. I'm a bit annoyed with myself. That's how I feel at the moment with the race. But yeah, the times and stuff like that, academic, I had a wonderful experience to talk about with Robbo. I got to spend a whole day with my bestie. So
did that help reframe it a little bit, that chat with Robbo? Because his experience could night and day, like running next to you. I would have loved those speech bubbles coming out the top of your head of like what was going on. And he was like
the caption competition.
And you're like, I hate this. hate my life. It's everything. I hate you.
No, it's not. Well, I think I said even when we chatted, it was like therapy. So all those conversations are good. It was interesting that he remembered things slightly different to me, although we didn't really go into it in the interview. I'll have to pick his brains next time we're out on the trails together. But yeah, I'm just a bit, my constant thought at the moment are, why didn't I have a plan B?
Yeah, but why, why?
Well, it's all fine if I learn. This is the takeaway. If
yeah,
I
but
just
it will still all go wrong. I was about to go Bryn. Gary. It will still all go wrong because, I've had this sickness, if you're one of these, is something that you just have to deal with. But look, so it might be that you're still sick at 13 Valleys, but that, you
But I need to have, this is what I didn't remember.
Remind me to send you the list of drugs I got sent from various medical professionals to help stave off if you do start being sick. What they gave me at Northern Traverse, which was
well, Rennie's, I forgot. Rennie's, just a classic thing you can buy from any chemist. I think that did help me for an hour or two. Robbo had a Rennie in his first aid kit, so definitely take that. Maybe don't do this, but that Imodium to bunk things up.
Well, that's why I don't really want to talk about medical. I don't want to be advising people and then people to
No, it's not something I've ever
Eddie
done.
said, and I took Eddie said.
There is a disclaimer in the text on the podcast. This is not medical advice that we dish out. But yes, I'm pretty sure I will be feeling nauseous at some point in 13 Valleys. Kinder mint cake, old school mint cake, not the sports nutrition-y stuff. That does trigger me just because of the pure, it's like 100% sugar, I think. And some kind of energy drink. That will trigger me too, but I can get them down and I can keep pushing forward. So because I remember 2023 Lakeland 100, I've glossed over feeling sick.
Yeah.
But I did feel sick, but I could drink and I couldn't eat mint cake.
It's the borderline, isn't it? Is that how I can run with a bit of nausea, but then when the vomiting starts, unless it's just like get it out of my system and I'm resetting, that can be quite a joy. If it starts and then the cycle starts, that is when the only way to stop that, I think, personally for me, is to stop. That
will be a big test. That will be a big test. I think I've said maybe off air that maybe if I wasn't running with Robbo, I might have given myself 10 minutes. For sure,
you'd have had a pity party in a checkpoint.
I've never done that, Eddie. So to say that
No, but join it. It's fun. You meet loads of nice people. But of course, when you're racing, the minute you sit and the minutes start going by.
When I see someone come into a checkpoint after me and leave before me, that's not going to sit well.
It is awful. It is awful. Yeah. But then if you can do that once, and like we said about 13 Valleys, it's just an experience. It's not an A race. If you can reset yourself, even if it took, and I mean that Northern Traverse reset took I was in that checkpoint for 2.5 hours, I think.
Yeah. But I wonder if that's also with that race, like the spine race, it's quite normalized to take a long time at a checkpoint.
Yeah, I get that but that was early on for both my races. It wasn't normal to, people were in and out. But now I've got those tools as well. I think I could do it quicker. I know what drugs to take. I know what I need to do. I think I could turn the tables a little bit quicker. Now I know what I need to do. So anyway, okay, enough of that. We don't want to stop. People are out on their lovely runs. It's a beautiful sunny day. And they're like, let's listen to Eddie Gary. And all we've talked about
Debbie Downers.
Debbie Downers. Let's get up. Let's lift these guys. Come on. They're looking for positivity here.
Should I try a Scottish accent? How are the Scottish trails, Edwina? How are they
why are you an old wee Scottish lady? Oh, sweetie. Oh my God.
I love a Scottish accent. A Lorraine Kelly. Yeah, she could.
Kelly.
Oh. She could whisper in my ear. That'd be sensational.
She probably lives around here somewhere. Oh, the Scottish trails are incredible. I keep sending pictures to Debbie going, I don't know why you say it rains all the time in Scotland. It's beautiful. Though every time I'm taking the pictures, the midgies are like, hi there, your fresh skin.
Fresh meat.
Fresh meat. I can see Lindy. Tarky doesn't get bitten by midges, but I can see that Lindy, because she's got that like thin pointer coat, and I can see she stands by the lock, and then she goes, "What's that?" I'm like, what is that? What is that? Oh, thank goodness. I said last week, right, come on, Eddie's got to get back on this train. And I had the week started a bit rough. I mean, the week went from like pretty rough start. I was hobbling behind Bryn. We were struggling to run 11-minute miles on trails because my legs were just like so sore. But I persevered
Why is that, Eddie? Sorry, I don't know if we talked about this.
Had I told you I'd been to the physio? I don't think I'd so much to tell you. But I was like, that's it. You just got to keep moving. I just had this feeling that if I just kept moving, I was going to feel better than like not moving. I'm not scared to throw money. Lots of people are like, oh no, I don't want to go to the physio like you to the last minute. But I actually, it's, this is my work. This is my job. I have to look after my body. I've also had 3 children, so I cannot do this alone. Yeah. I cannot look after my body myself. I need help with the volume that I do. And I can't be injured. I have to look after my children a lot by myself. So I got to have a body that can keep up with them. Anyway, I had a look around, found a lovely physio. I always just go straight onto like Facebook groups and stuff, see who people recommend. And then I stalk the physio and go, if they're not a runner or have sporting, I don't want them anywhere near me. I went to see the physio. There was quite a lot of the initiation when she was like, how much running do you do? And she was proper Scottish. So I was having to like really dial in. And then she's like, how often do you run? I was like, well, it can be up to 10 times a week. I was like, I've done this for years. Like, don't worry about my volume. This is not high volume. This is low at the moment. Anyway, she went in deep in my hips and everything. She was like, I was worried about my knee. She was like, great, you've got no injury. I was like, I was worried, like maybe I've ripped, maybe I've got a broken leg.
Oh my God.
And she was like, there's no injury. You just, because she was moved my knee in the first few times, it's so stiff. And then she like moved it some more and then some more. And then she got my hip round. I was like, oh my God. She's like, it's actually painful. I love pain, Gary. I can't get enough of it. I'm like, no, she went really deep with her elbow in my IT. Oh my God. I was watching the clock. I was like, don't let this finish. It's so good. Just staying in my IT bed. And that really, really helped. And it really helped the fact she was like, look, you've got no injuries. You're just super tight and you need to get this hip loosened, which I know. And I sit every night like loosening off my hip, but I guess all day it's been tight. So I need to do that more in the morning. And that's one of my things I'm really bad at, because you want to do all your mobility work and stuff in the morning, but I'm really short on time. I go for a run, I come back and the kids are like, breakfast, let's go do this. When you'd like to like spend half an hour stretching and rolling. I
wonder if just a hot bath.
It's a hot bath with some salts in. And we say, I don't have time for that. Of course, there's always time. I have time to do other stuff that I don't want to do. Anyway, I was really happy that she was like, you're just super tight and you just got to move everything. And then she was like, so I don't need to see you again. I was like, oh no, I do need to see you again. But she said, but you can see my colleague is the massage therapist. Let's get you into her. So I'm going to see. So I'll have some more news. No doubt she'll also be like, oh my God. I love a physio that's like, oh, you're fine. You're just really stiff. We just need to keep this mobile. It's all good. So that sort of helped as well. And that she really got in my hip and my IT band. That really helped. And now I haven't got any pain. I'm stiff still. My knees. But I think that's my age, Gary. I
stopped and talked to a friend for maybe 20 minutes the other day on a run. And I couldn't run away. I had to walk for like 50 meters.
Also, it's a bit embarrassing here as well, where we're living at the moment. I only have to do like 10 steps on the little high street before I can get up the trail. But I'm run past. I'm like, oh, don't make me step off the pavement around these people. But yeah, I got myself going again. 10 hours running on the nose, dot on. Oof. 10 hours, my golden ticket. Dig. Do you know I did nearly 9,000 feet of climbing without, I felt, we're on mountains, so you're just going uphill. But even like when I'm running like round the lock, or yesterday I did what I thought was a flat 8 miles, 700 feet climbing, just by going little ups and downs. If I'd done 9,000 feet of climbing in Morzine, I would have said 8,900 and that would have been walking. But I didn't walk. I've not got my bowls out. Still in the lucky
lovely
bag.
Trails, those runnable trails.
Runnable trails. And I'm whining because we're living in a 1-bedroom little house and we're close quarters, but I can go up behind my house as a Munro. I can climb up it 55 minutes.
Ever seen any head torches at night? People do in Munros.
No, I can't see it. I can't see it from the back. But I can go up 50. It's got like some Strava. I've done it in 55 up and down. And 51 minutes is the female. And I've been going really easy on the down because I'm a bit nervous. I'm like, one day I'm going to smash that in smooth. Anyway, how lucky am I that I can go up and get thousands of feet up literally up behind the door, and it's a beautiful, it's like a really easy, like lovely through the heather, but it's like you could run three abreast on this track. And there's rocks, but it's like steps, so it's like it's really.
Have you got a flat mile though? That would be.
So yes, well, it's not a flat mile. I've got some plain fields, but what I have got is this road that's a dead end, and it's like it's 700 feet over 4 miles.
Okay,
but it's like a closed road, and it's just little undulations. And I thought that would be sensational for like 8 minutes tempo when you like got to work up the hill. Anyway, I love this climb up behind my house because the dogs as well, they don't like the heather. So they can only stay on this track. So there's like sheep and stuff all rough grazing. But Lindy's like, I'm not going, no, it's a bit sore that. So it's brilliant. I was just thought, I can do all this moaning about, not having a house, but how sensational to have these trails on my doorstep and to be able to still, how lucky am I that I can just turn up into the hills within a few minutes and away from people, which is, as trail runners, that's our main. Trying to find my roots again. The classics, Gary. Do you have classics? Half an hour, 45 minutes, hour. The hour classic that you do every day,
pretty much, yeah. I've got a 7 mile Dean loop. Yeah. About 1,000 feet, 7 mile.
You want like a 3 to 5 miler, like a really easy one when you're trashed. You want like a 6 miler, which is like, and then you want, 7 to 8 miler, a 10 miler. You need to cut it. I haven't worked out because we're like haven't worked out how I'd do a long, like a 20 miler without having to loop. Like doing a loop one side of us and a loop the other side. So I've just been too scared to broach the subject to Bryn of me going out for 4 or 5 hours. Is that all right? Do you mind that? Anyway, got my bike together. I lost the screw, Gary. I lost the freaking screw. Oh. How many times? It's like, I'm going to do this. I am a strong, confident woman. I don't need help to build this. Took the screw off the handlebars and put it somewhere. Oh my God, I couldn't find it anywhere. Couldn't tell Braden because he'd have been anyway. Eventually found it, and I just gave it all to Finley and said, "Can you just build this?"
When you find it, it's just like, yes.
Oh, thank God I've put it all together again. So I'm going to add some bikes into my recovery week, and I've made my plan. It's all going in the right direction. Made my plan. Don't need to be in shape for. I've got 4 months, so I'm just gonna build base for the next. Really like 4 to 5 weeks. I get fine. I get a good fitness just by running, and with the vert in there as well. Like you just get natural heart rate spikes, strength. Yeah. So I'm just gonna build this base, enough volume that you're tired, but I don't want to be ruined until the kids have gone back to school. I've got to keep the ability to walk down to a cafe and eat scones till they come out of my head. Such a better week. Body's feeling so much better, and we're learning to live in a little small space. I tell you, Gary, we've got our areas now. I had a bit of a moment at the weekend where things get very low quite quickly when you're all together and someone's in a not great mood and there's nowhere to go.
Could be a lot of friction.
There's a lot of friction, but learning to like breathe and believe. Whoever it is, they need to get out, but also like I did a mega cleanup. I was like, right, we need to have everything clean, and then we all needed it like piles of pants, piles of socks. We don't have any storage either. We need it all sorted, and then I will feel a lot better as the parent of being organised. So Bryn took the kids, and I did everything. I defrosted the fridge. I cleaned I was like, I just need to start with a blank. I made myself sick from the cleaning fluid. I cleaned so hard, Gary. I think it was going on. I started about 10, and about 4:30, I thought I haven't any lunch. I need a cup of tea. I made a cup of tea, but I'd been cleaning the oven. So as I was like gulped the tea down, I inhaled the oven fluid, and there was a black bin bag next to me and I just went, oh. Do you know what I did? I just did the classic ultra running training. I just did the back bin bag up, put it out.
You can rally.
I thought, right, come on, let's get on with this. Please, it's over now.
That's a skill as a runner. A lot of people, that would be like time out for the rest of the day.
Yeah, they'd been like, oh, I need to go to bed. I was like, clear the gullets. I feel good. Have another cup of tea now. But I did think I can't get sick. No one wants the norovirus in this house. Anyway, we're doing all right, and it's amazing how. So we don't have any stuff. Our stuff is all in storage until we have a house. So we each have a suitcase of clothes. I've got about 3 boxes of various running stuff, obviously, but the kids don't have anything. They don't have like any toys, any books, nothing.
It could be a good excuse to have a purge. If you realise after this period.
Gary, we had a purge before we moved. 10 loads we took to the déchetterie, to the tip and various charity places. 10, I cannot tell you how big the purge was. And we've still got this massive Lorraine storage. And I'm like, should we just leave it? Let's just leave it and not come back to it. But it's amazing what the kids like. They don't have. If
you chuck it out, they'll want it straight away.
Oh yeah, when they go, where Evie especially. Where's the
Nerf gun at?
Yeah, where's that pink little shoe that goes on the doll? And I'm like, oh my god, both have gone. It was great when the Olympics was on because we basically watched the Olympics 24/7, and I felt that was free. That was fine. That was fine screen time because it was. You watch this. Inspirational. Now that's off. I'm like, you don't get to just watch TV all day. So they just work out who they're going to pick on because the three of them. One of them's going to be the weak link that day, and they're going to annoy the hell out of each other until Mum loses her bitches.
I saw a lovely interview with somebody, an Australian athlete, maybe after the marathon. She medalled, and she's super emotional, and she said that it's a fine line between wanting and needing the success of the medal, and she fully was present enough to realise to make her life happy. She didn't need that medal, but she really wanted it badly. It was.
I think that's a really good analogy. That like what we need, what we want, should be different to what we actually need as well, and how we work towards each of them is quite different as well. Yeah. But it's okay to really want something as well. Yeah. You can really want something, but actually, if you don't get it, then you don't need it. And maybe if you don't get it, it wasn't what you needed. Oh my God, we got so deep right now. Anyway. Back on the running train, let's just pray for Eddie. And the last few weeks of summer holidays, my God, my kids broke up on the 23rd of June and we're now on the 14th of August. And Gary, I have not had a day away from them. And it's beginning to take its toll a little bit.
How long, Eddie? Hang on in there.
Love them. This is when running is so good. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't go out for an hour's run. I don't know how people. I mean, I
overheard some people in the gym yesterday in the changing room, and they were like talking about playing Minecraft and on video games until like 3 a.m. So whatever floats your boat, I suppose you've got to have that outlet. But the thought of that, like sitting on a video game for hours and hours and hours. This stage in my life.
I know. Bryn occasionally has been like, and I'm like, no. Right. How you doing? You've actually got another race coming up before.
We've got a big race, yeah. Big this 13 Valleys, but also we touched on the very end of the interview that there's possibly a Joss Naylor attempt.
Tell us about the Joss Naylor Lakeland Challenge. Gary, I asked to join you guys on this, but I realise I'm too young. By almost 10 years.
Well, it is.
But can I support you? Because you have to have a support runner on each leg.
Yeah, pretty sure. Not 100% sure of the full rules, but I think it's similar to the Bob where you need witnesses for the summits. So, my goodness me, there will be need for a support crew. But yeah, starting at Pooley Bridge, 30 summits. I'm reading this actually from the Joss Naylor blog spot. I'm not just freestyling this. 48 miles. 16,000 feet of vert. So it is spicy. And what is the time?
Yes, you've got different times for how old you are. So you're men 50 to 54, so you've got to do it in 12 hours.
40 odd miles, 60,000 feet. You can't hang around.
7K an hour. 7K an hour? Ooh.
That is going some. Yeah, and I think it's quite
some. What sort of trails do you think this is on? Barton Fells, Arthur's Pike.
Yeah, High Fells again. So.
Joss isn't going to have, he wouldn't have chosen,
no.
Oh, that's, you and I would choose the smooth, buttery trail.
We'd have got the passes every time.
Wait, we'd have been like, our carbon trail shoe's not going to like that bit, Joss. So can we just move it over to, but you could have some sensational recce days doing this as well, because it's broken down into 4 legs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the good thing with us, Pooley Bridge, that's our closest part of the Lake District where we live, so we can definitely get out there. My only concern is with 13 Valleys.
Yeah.
Obviously, very mindful we are, after 13 Valleys, pretty much the weather's very unpredictable. So do we have an attempt before the 13 Valleys?
That's going to take, you've got to taper, you've got to recover. There's no use of that towards your, apart from the recce's would be quite good just for being time on the fells before the 13 valleys, but you don't want to do a 12-hour effort between now and 13 valleys.
Well, Great Gable, these are high fells. It's going to be a very good Bull Fell, great end. Oh my goodness. Lots of ups and downs, but I think it's always nice to have. We talked about it quite a lot, and to be honest, it's Robbo's passion. I'm just coming along for the kudos as usual.
I'm getting this now after the interview. I'm understanding why mine is.
So we'll see how it fits in. Obviously, we were all eyes focused on All County Tops for May of next year. So how it fits in without disrupting something else too much, not 100% sure. And I do not fancy 12 hours on the fells, on a minging winter's
February.
day. No, I don't fancy that. So we will see. But for my week, easy miles, I did say I was possibly going to do a workout, and you were like, Gary. I think I could have done the workout. Body felt okay. Maybe it was lulling me, though. I've carried this HRV, is still rock bottom. But I did run every day still, just easy miles. I was going to do a long run. Aaron, myself and Liam were all going to go down the Dean, do the 70 Hills Challenge and run back home, which would have been about 15, 16 miles. Aaron had a social engagement, so I had to cut it short. I could have stayed out on my own, but I thought, you know what? Let's go home after 12 miles. It was fine. So I didn't do the workout. Yeah, my heart rate variability is on the up. But I did a little Instagram story earlier, but all week it was rock bottom. I did a proper bit of DIY, installed an integrated oven. I know it's quite boring, but I was super impressed. I was really impressed. We've just, our old oven didn't break, but the door broke, so we couldn't actually cook anymore with it.
I would call that broken. I would say that's broken.
Yeah. Well, it was like a hair trigger for about 2 years, so we were doing really well. That if you just touched the door, it would quite a lot of jeopardy when you were cooking stuff. But yeah, I installed this new oven, and then Esme, we're off to Finland for our summer holidays, and Esme got her right down in a Finnish vibe, and she was baking some Karelian pastries. You wouldn't have had these, like a rice pudding in a rye pastry. Our Finnish listeners, it's a mega super popular snack, savoury treat in Finland. Yeah, so she was cooking that, and we had some. It's when I say it's quite triggering. It's an egg butter, which is quite a heavy. It's like basically a cardiologist's dream, basically, this stuff. It's so heavy. But yeah, we're all on our Finnish vibe. Really enjoyed that. And everybody is now.
Well, if you need anybody to clean out your oven, I'm your woman. As long as I've got a bin bag near,
I can have a bin bag.
I can spray that and scrub that. Not a problem.
What else I do? Yeah, popped up to see him on Sunday. I wasn't marshalling. I was just actually filming B-roll for some upcoming shoe reviews. But I went.
What is this B-roll stuff you're going on about?
Well, it's basically the filler. When you do this review,
like you are to this podcast, you're my B-roll, basically.
That is, tying shoelaces, just that kind of stuff, which just keeps the video ticking along nicely. It's instead of just having me chatting away to camera, we've got these nice little bits. So that's the B-roll. So yeah, popped Trail Outlaws did their 10K Branches and Bays trail run. Oh my goodness, mate, it was so red hot. I felt so sorry for those poor runners. They have one drink station about halfway, and they've just done it. It's not a huge climb, but in the scheme of that route, it is a pretty spicy, like a 45-degree climb coming off the beach, and they've got a drink stop right at the top of there. And it was good. Scott Sports, they had a little pop-up store where you could go and try shoes on. I thought that was quite a nice touch. It's not a huge race, but yeah, so lots of people with super shiny Scott's Super Track RCs. Yeah, great idea. That just under 50 miles of running for the week. 25 miles of walking though. He does get one run a week. I do run him, and Lisa, if she's off, she'll run him too. But fundamentally, there's 25 miles of walking there with Rex. There's a one run this week on the plan where it's 12 miles on the trails, and that would have basically been 3 runs, 4 miles, probably 2-3 miles run with Rex, and then 6 miles on my own. So this is one little change. Yeah, well, quite a big change actually. So today or whenever I do it will be like 12 miles just on my own. So hopefully
Rex can't do 12 miles.
He could do 12 miles quite easily, but that would probably add an extra 30 minutes onto my run with all the sniffing and the wheeze and the poos. So that's why, unfortunately, yeah, poor Rexy is not coming along. I'm getting a lot of grief, actually. A lot of people sympathy for Rex, but I just can't do it. He's like still, even all those walks, 25 miles, every 2 miles, about 35, 40 minutes. So he's getting a lot of time out. And then he does get a run on a Monday too. But yeah, 6,700 feet of vert for the week. I think you're right. Yeah, no, just reintroducing running. 5 miles, 6 miles, 7 miles with a kind of medium-ish long run on the Sunday was probably a good introduction to running.
I am right. It's like I've done this before. Imagine.
You should do it for a career.
Oh my God, I could look into it.
Got to do some Patreon dates though. Oh, I got an email from Patreon. I know this is probably a terrible way of explaining this, but it depends on how you sign up for Patreon. You can do it online at patreon.com, or I suppose you could do it through the app, Apple Store.
Do you think you should have mentioned this when we talk about the patrons at the beginning of the podcast? You've just thrown this in and I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe I should have. Well, I literally don't know much about the ins and outs.
Maybe
of all
put
this
some
Patreon.
deets on Facebook to help people so they can read it, because I'm not very good at listening.
Well, in a nutshell, just sign up through patreon.com.
Okay, that's what I needed, Gary. You went off on one. You were like Apple and Patreon and paying, and I was like, oh God. And if I don't understand something, then I just stop listening.
I think Apple just want everybody to use their payment system, and they're going to charge 30% for the privilege.
30%?
Yeah, is a nutshell. So we could reduce Patreon by 30% or pass on the increase.
I need to buy a house.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, I think by default, Patreon will just stick 30% on it, the cost through the App Store. Just pop over to Patreon.
Don't leave us, guys. Don't leave us.
Don't leave us. And the Olympics is over.
Oh my God, what are we doing? Like, we've started the Traitors US, because now we've got iPlayer. This is a whole new it's not as good, but it's something we're filling, Gary, until we find a new family. I saw.
Is it a celebrity US or is it just a regular US?
There's a few. There's what's Kate from Below Deck. You know, one of our faves. She's hilarious.
I really like it.
No, you really wouldn't like her on this, but she's the only one that's entertaining, to be honest. It's not as good as the British one, but apparently I listened to, Bryn tried to get me to listen to the Rest is Politics podcast because he gets really annoyed.
Sensational.
It's sensational. But like you said, like you were just describing Patreon to me, the same would happen with that podcast, because I'd be like, But I do like the Rest is Entertainment podcast, because that's more of my vibe.
Okay,
which
I've
is
never heard
the
this
same.
one.
It's the same. It's really like the one on the Olympics is incredible. Like how they fund it, how much it costs. Just those cameras above the track. Like how much. One of the podcasts was like how you pay tax from a game show, basically, and what you actually get is nothing. It's like really behind the scenes. Love it. They are talking about like the big reality shows, because they did a one on Strictly and everything that's gone on with that. All those like probably those reality shows that have been going since we were in the dawn of time of reality shows. But they said the biggest thing that's coming this year, which I cannot wait for, is Celebrity Traitors, which apparently is going to be incredible, and we'll probably do a whole podcast on it, Gary.
But will it just be the same? I watched Celebrity MasterChef last night. It was just the same old faces.
Oh, it is a lot of the same people that have got young kids.
Keeping ourselves famous.
Need to keep themselves on. Don't want to work on the summer holidays and stuff. I don't mind. I get that. I get that. Yeah. So people, I need some family friendly viewing programs that do not have like Clarkson's
Umbrella Academy. So you're too young.
Clarkson's Fine. We're on that vibe sort of thing.
Okay.
What did the kids start watching? Alex Rider on Prime Video, because we've got all these options now. So if you've got like young teenage kids and you don't want to watch some terrible Netflix thing with them, oh my God, Netflix. Netflix is not good TV, is it?
Anyway. Some of it is. Well, it might not be good for you, but it could be good for somebody else.
You're so good, Gary. Wish I was more like you. Netflix is just all killing every single thing. You might like to watch this. He puts her in the bath and covers her in acid. No, why would I ever want to watch that?
What I find, because the algorithm, it promotes shows that it might think you like, so it's quite hard to step out the box.
Yes. I find that. But then my box is quite there as Bryn. It's about to say as Bryn says, my box is very full.
Sensational. Thanks, X Miles, for sponsoring our main interview, the one-stop kit and nutrition shop. Yeah, don't forget, patrons can receive 10% off over at www.xmiles.co.uk. This week, we chat with Robbo, Neil Robinson. Yeah, lots of you requested a little catch-up with Neil. I really enjoyed it. It's like this, probably a month-long therapy session from... my Lakeland 100. I always enjoy sharing time with Neil. I hope you enjoy our conversation with Neil. Robbo Cop is his handle on the Lakeland 100. Yeah, Neil Robinson.
That tickled me.
This week, we are joined by Neil Robinson, or Robbo, my good friend, training partner, teammate, my Lakeland 100 wingman, and 4 times Lakeland 100 finisher too. Heavy flex. The community demanded it, Robbo. Thanks for coming on the Tea and Trails podcast. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting us.
Robert, you must have listened to the podcast from day one, because you must have gone running with Gary, and Gary had gone, "You'll never guess what, Robert, I've met this sensational girl and I'm going to do this podcast with her and I'm going to become like this viral YouTuber."
He was
like
actually really nervous and he was like, "Do you think I should do it?" And I was like, "Without a doubt, you've got to do it."
How many weeks did I say no before I eventually...
Oh, loads while I talked you into it. I was trying to give him interview tips, but like my police interview tips, I don't think would have been very good for the guests. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I gave up on that, didn't I?
Book him, Dano.
Brilliant. Yes, let's do that. We might need to heavily edit that, but how do we get the real truth out of people?
Classic. But yeah, Robbo is responsible. I was not keen to be a podcaster. My goodness me. And yeah.
You hit that well. My God, you came on and like took over. Eddie, here's the spreadsheet.
He's a bit of a natural, but he doesn't like to show it, does he?
No, he keeps it. He's like, "I don't like it. I don't like it." "Oh, hi, Sophie. Yeah, sure."
Hi there. Selfie.
Yeah.
All right, Robbo. We ask every guest, where are you? What's the view from your window? And have you been for a run today?
I'm at home at the Spinney at Easington Village. The view out the window is cracking. I look right across the valley towards Hawthorne and the east coast. And yeah, I ran home from work. So I thought I'd better get a one in with a little bit of elevation due to the challenge, just to keep ahead, I think.
What's this?
Well, yeah, people don't know we've got... Well, I'm not involved because I don't pay for Strava, so I've used up my credits, but there's an elevation challenge going on with our little running community. And luckily for me, Robbo can't work out Strava to put on his plastic miles, he calls them, on the treadmill.
Plastic elevation's not allowed. Not a chance.
So I do all
okay,
these.
so you do it, but you're not allowed to add it onto Strava.
Oh, Gary
Yes, you
does.
are.
Oh, I know Gary does. Oh, don't get me started on that. But you just are like, it's out, it's done. I don't need the kudos for that.
No, I just don't know how to get it on, and Gary won't show us. So he shows us everything, how to use my watch, the lot.
I'm keeping that.
But he will not show me how to add plastic elevation on. I've lost quite a bit, but...
Local running, Robbo, straight out your door. What's the trail?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I know we all would love to live in the lakes or somewhere really hilly, but straight out the door, you've got the coastline, straight into Castle-Dean, which is, I suppose for us, it's been a godsend over these last few years. Being our main training area. Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything, hasn't it?
How far away from Gary do you live? Let me get the proximity of this relationship.
About 3.5 to 4 mile, I think it is.
Just long enough. Just long enough. But you can't see when he turns his bedroom light off, basically. But enough that it's easy to meet for a run. Even easy to meet on like a midweek run.
Easy.
Well, that's Thursday. Castle-Dean is pretty much in the middle of us, so that is just our very fruitful. You can do a great Lakeland 100 training run with like 10 miles, about 2,500 feet of vert, but you just don't get those massive climbs. But you know, it just means that we don't have to travel to the lakes every week. It's we're super fortunate, because when we hear about people who live in Cambridge, in London, places like that, yeah, we're pretty lucky to have that on our doorstep. And what's a typical week look like for you, Robbo, training wise?
I think this year it's been really good. It's been 50 plus miles and about 10 to 12,000 feet of elevation a week. sometimes more when we've hit the lakes a couple of times.
Do you follow the same plan as Gary?
Pretty much so. It's the higher running one. The 50
Sage,
mile,
is it Sage Canada?
Sage Canada Mountain Ultra one.
Sage Canada / Edwina Sutton coaching.
Well, yeah, but Gary says you don't coach him, but we know you do.
No,
you know
he just runs past what he's going to do, and then we change it, and then he changes it again. So he's just a classic coaching client, really, and chooses the bits he likes. No, okay. So do you on like Sunday night? Do you go like, we're going to do this? How are we going to fit this all in together? Or,
yeah, I think I needed, especially this year, I needed to follow a really more structured plan. I'd had a one before that I'd used, which a lad, one of our friends, David, had given us, which was the Bob Graham training plan, and that got us ready for that. But it's always Gary will set the session on a Thursday, but following a set plan, I've really stuck to it. And I think because of that, I've got the higher miles in this year, which has meant the journey was easier this year compared
a lot more consistent, years. I think. Looking at it from my point of view, when I looked at your Strava and chatted away with you, yeah, it's been so much more consistent. What I like also before previously, yeah, it was you were following David's plan or a different plan. And I was doing my Garmin plan, but with this Sage plan, it meant all of our sessions were the same, which was really handy. It was good. It was good for our group. There must have been 4 or 5 of us kind of following that plan. And plus, with the young'uns in on the plan as well, just pushes you that little bit more, doesn't it? Well, we've got like Robbo and I, we're both north of 50, but we've got some 20 odd year olds and young 30s. Okay, Robbo, bit about you and your journey, your background into trail and running. Well, I was talking a lot of work today, and I said to him, when did you think I first started? And he got it spot on, and it was 2008. I think I'd just getting a spaniel around Christmas time. I was a big barrel. I had a proper cider D out the front. Do you know what I mean?
What's a cider D?
It's basically from the top of my stomach over, and you can't see anything south. Not even in Gaz's red shorts, you couldn't see a thing. So, yeah.
Delicious.
I just loved cider. I was probably in the CID at the time. One of the lads who I worked with at the time, he's an ex-ice hockey pro for Durham.
Wow.
Durham Wasps.
Durham Wasps, yeah. And Malcolm Bell. And he said, right, let's go strictly health foods. And I was like, well, what do you mean? From January, that's it. We'll smash it out until Valentine's Day, I think it was. Get a bit fit and look a bit leaner. So there was only a couple of us on the shift. New Year's Eve, that was it. 12 o'clock came. 2 bottles of cider, put them away, never touched them. And then it just progressed. It got to the February, and I was eating not really anything healthy, just natural yogurt and trill seed. And that's all I was eating at work, instead of like sandwich, crisps, chocolate bar, cans of pop. I just stuck to it. So the Henry VIII jowls that I had coming down here, like, started to disappear. I was in the canteen one day, and I heard 2 lads talking, and they were talking about Achieve It Fell race for the police. And I was like, oh, is there any chance I could join? And they were like, well, we don't really know if you're any good. And I'm like, well,
that's harsh.
I'm like, I've always played
Is this
football.
Gary? Was this Gary?
No, not Gary. Not this time. So I basically said, I begged them to let us join the 3-man team. That was in June the 21st it was on. So hadn't had a drink. I'd trained. I'd been running with a dog. And we did the Achieve It Fell race. It was obviously one of them events where you always have to hit the checkpoints together.
Okay.
And I just waited for them at the top of each hill.
Oh, so you'd had some practice of waiting.
Oh, I'd absolutely... I'd only hammered Castlereagh and Dean. I'd never even been in the Achieve It in my life. And I hammered it.
Oh, my God.
And I think it was about 24, 25 mile it was, the full race. I just got hooked. And from there, I just started to do other races, trail races. I think...
sorry, Rob, this team that you found yourself in, which they were unsure to let you in, you were the strongest runner out of the 3?
Yeah.
Excellent. Love it.
What did they say? Was there any, like, when you were waiting at the checkpoints, was there any, like, Man, you could.
No, I think they were both blown out their asses that much that they weren't really like saying much. So it was just sort of one of those things where I was just that determined because they didn't really want me in the team anyway. And I'd travelled up on my own. And they wouldn't even let me travel with them.
Oh, Robbo, this is heartbreaking.
I drove back after the race, and I think we'd done it in 8 to 9 hours. It was such a long day. I'd got back home, and I smashed in the 2 bottles of cider that I'd still had from you, yeah.
I think you deserve that.
Made it feel a little bit better. From there, I just started to do more races locally. I started to do the police national fell race. They were traumatic at the time, and I got more and more into it. I'm trying to think. I think I started to do the likes of Kielder, the Dale Trail events down in Reeth and Mooka. I remember one Friday night, I'd had about 4 or 5 bottles of Stella, and I was like, oh, that Reeth 20K, I'm going to join that. So I was like messaging this woman from down Reeth, smashed, thinking like, and I was like, I need to join your race. And she was like, okay, right, if you come down tomorrow morning, you can join. So I think I woke up about 5 o'clock in the morning and drove down to Reeth, and I'd got the wrong race. So I'd ended up doing a Reeth 20K and not the Dale Trail series of the other races. So, but yeah, it's little things like that where I pushed and pushed. I just sort of fell in love with going over to the lakes and just really got into it. And then I think it'll been about 2015, 2016 is when I did my first ever Lakeland 50.
Okay.
I got into that a little bit more. Did it in 17. I started to do the NAV4 events where I did the Tour de Helvellyn, which is, I suppose it's one of my most favourite races that over the winter time. Loved doing his events. And then in reality, it was 2018. I went to Peakley Running Club in the January. Like my Lisa had talked us into it, and I was like, I'm not running with nobody. Like, I'm not joining no running club.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, I'm dead friendly, really. And I just thought, I'll go along because it'll keep me happy.
Yeah.
Anyway, went along, and I still remember I was running up a place called Davy Drive, which Gary quite well. It's just an industrial estate, and it's just a grind. And I was up next to this bloke, and I just turned around and started chatting to him, and it was Gary, and it was like talking about the Lakeland, and he told us he'd been 13th in the Lakeland 100, and I didn't
flex that
did
straight away.
Surely.
You flexed it, like, and I was like, I was just amazed. I was at a running club in Peakley. I'm running up the worst road you could possibly run up. And I'm meeting somebody who's done the Lakeland 100. And like, I just thought, wow.
Was he just like half shouldering you just ahead of you? Like
I was trying to nudge him off the curb. So, and from then, that's basically met Gary. And then
did one of you go like, do you want to swap numbers? Do you want to take this a little bit further?
I can't remember how it evolved, like, because now it's, my goodness me, with thick as Steve going to the lakes as often as possible. But I don't really remember that when it went just from club night
just
to
a
Peakley.
Hazy blur of those happy days.
He's like the brother I always wanted who ran.
Yeah.
So,
like Wuthering Heights.
And it was just from there. And I think with Gary knowing more people, like the hard moors and stuff like that, he had a bit more about him, social media side, Facebook or whatever. So I just got to know him more. And then it just all sort of amalgamated, and the ultra running just took off, really, I suppose, more than anything else.
What year was your first Lakeland 100 then?
So that was 2019 was my first.
Was that
100.
Before your attempted Bob Graham round?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Yeah. So you did that. You did a Lakeland 100. Did you do that first one together?
No. Gary wasn't doing that. I don't think you...
I wasn't interested.
You did 2017, didn't you? And then you didn't do one until
22.
Yeah. So I did that one on my own.
Was that your first 100?
Yes, first ever. I'd done the 50 a couple of times, and I thought that was a bit of a breeze. Not a breeze as in it was easy to do, but I'd enjoyed it and I knew the distance. The 100 was that was the dead man's sort of shuffle. I didn't really, no nighttime running. I struggled really badly in the nighttime sections, which I have in a couple of years. It's only this year I haven't. Always seem to feel quite lonely. And you can see head torches, but that part of the 100 milers, that really Doesn't do me any favours.
Does it not?
I don't think people realise the attrition. It's not like just 250s or even 2.550s. The attrition you get on a 100-miler and through the night, and for a lot of people, 2 nights. Yeah, it's hard just to kind of express how much harder a mountain 100 is, where you're going to be over 24 hours. Most people at least will be long over 20. If you're on a track, then I suppose it could be over quite quick, and you wouldn't be dark, or if it was super flat, like on the Thames. But yeah, that attrition on a 100-miler, it's really hard to express. I remember Sharon Gator, she said to me once, I was doing some race, and she was like, "Yeah, this was before my Lakeland 100 or Hardmost 110," and she was like, "It's not just 250s." It's a lot. And when someone like Sharon says that,
it's just like running a 200-miler compared to running a 100-miler.
Yeah.
It's like, and people are often quite scared of stepping up to that 200-mile distance, going, "There's no way I could do that when I finished a 100-miler." Like if you'd finished Lakeland, got in that tent, and then I'd gone, "Wait, cup of tea, let's go." You turn around, you go back again.
God.
You'd be like, no chance. But it's like, it's totally different, isn't it? You've seen it, Gary. Like it's just a different.
Yeah.
You're not moving. First of all, you're not moving that fast. But again, it's mentally different as well. So for Lakeland hundreds, have you done any other hundreds, Robbos? Or is
No,
that
never, ever.
Okay.
No.
So you're really quite invested in this route. What is it about this race that makes you keep coming back? Is it Gary?
Yeah.
Those red shorts.
Definitely not them shorts.
Oh, Robbo, poor
I saw on
you.
social media today, red, it's love, danger, and luck.
Well, you're definitely danger.
Jeopardy.
You
I did warn him, Eddie. I said no. He asked me. I said no. I said cover them up.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't. He was cutting the tags out the back of his pants. I said, you can't say wear that way. You just need to cover it. Get on with it.
He's not even put off you and I going, absolutely not. Do not wear those. And he's so proud of the aubergine that he's like, I'm going to wear them. I don't care what you say. I think
he needs to cut them off and sell them, doesn't he? He needs to cut bits off.
I run it past Lisa. She never said a word. I was like, okay, Lisa's
if
all right
Bryn
with it.
went out in those shorts, I would say that is something that even your wife is going, oh.
So is it the compression or the red or the combination?
The tightness.
It's a tightness.
That's what it is.
Okay, noted.
No, we're just teasing. You wear I love wearing a cycling short, running. I know I don't look my best in it, but I'm not going to get any chaffing. It's super comfortable. I can pretend that I'm in the Olympics.
Yeah, but I did a little dress rehearsal. I looked in the mirror. I felt pumped. I thought, this is it. And then the photos and reflection, not very good.
I feel fun.
But the evidence on photography.
We've digressed. The red shorts. Sorry, Robbo. What is it about the race? That sounds like question again. What is about the race? Keeps coming back.
It's a festival. For me, it started off with, I went over with just like a couple of the family. We camped, on the field. You're right next to the likes of Beth Pascal that year and Marco and people like that. And you just think, wow, you're right near it all. Loved it because it was the 50, the whole briefing side of it. Because that event's grown from walking through just to register to the finish of the race, I don't think there's anything, well, I've never been in anything quite like that. The whole festival atmosphere, and it's the whole weekend. You go through every single checkpoint, everybody's happy. Everybody just wants to make you have such a good time, especially with what like the kids are like, I call them kids, but like the adults. They all come over. We have the full weekend together. The grandbands have started. George is on his 4th Lakeland one. Delilah's would have had 3 in the bag, but she kicked off the second year, so she's only got 2.
Okay, understandable. She wasn't ready. She wasn't feeling it.
No, she wasn't. No. So you'll mention it to another lad in the running group or whatever, and then they come. Gary comes. Aaron comes. Chris comes. And then Race and Gary, Spalders and Paul, and then Daryl. And then because they're coming and then they're bringing the families, it just feels like a huge...
The tribal gathering.
It is, yeah. I don't want to keep talking about it because it's just going to get harder and harder to get in the balance.
It's like the little things, isn't it? It's like Top Gun year this year, giving out the dog tags, the year before, sort of a Yellowstone theme, and it's the belt buckle. Because it seems to be the dynamics change each year of the way he runs it and the way it's done, it just seems to be on point every single year. You're waiting for September for them to like put the ballot out. Then you sit for 3 days thinking, oh my God, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you're not guaranteed, even though you guys have both done it 4 times now, you might not get your fifth.
I'm curious though if there's some, it's weighted in our favour because of the 4-time finishes. I'm not too sure if they even see that kind of information. I don't know, but oh my goodness, maybe heartbreaking because there's 3 of us.
Especially if only one of you gets in.
Oh my goodness me.
Yeah, we're all in the ballot this year, aren't we?
I know. Fingers crossed.
Robbo, this is your fourth time finishing a few weeks ago now. Time has flown. Fastest time. May I say you perhaps could have gone faster, but we don't know. No. What did you do differently leading up into this race? You sort of touched a little bit on your training compared to that. Yeah. What did you, when you stood on start line, did you think, I am in great shape right now? I'm going to do this.
I think probably better than even my Bob Graham round. I joined a gym and I'd done spinning. So I'd been doing spinning a few times a week and I'd used the Stairmaster thing, like the stepper. And I was hammering that over like the winter period. And I think that really, really helped get us a base. And then into the January when everybody started the cement loop marathon training that they all loved.
There's a bunch of us did Manchester Marathon, London Marathon too. Yeah, brings Robbo out in a rash.
Sick of hearing about it, Eddie. I was sick. So
I hear you. Let's set up our own WhatsApp. No cement.
I would dip in and out of the sessions. So I would do the speed sessions, but then I would still do my own weekend sessions of elevation and run around the Dean. And then I started the training plan early. I think I started about 4 or 5 weeks early. And I just repeated it up until I knew the 16-week period was going to start. So I'd already had a really, really good base and then continued all the way through. And it just really made me feel a lot stronger. And I knew I was when I hit all county tops.
Yeah.
I just knew.
Yeah, because I remember that we've done the podcast for so long now. I remember, like, not the one you've just, the old county tops, you've done the one before.
I'd been shot by a sniper the year before.
Yeah. Okay, that's tough to run with a bullet wound, isn't it? Yeah. But I remember this one that Gary was like, Robbo was really strong.
The urge to finish and to win, or to try and win, was just so much that I was a little bit too excited at points, I think. And I think we nailed the checkpoints.
Yeah, you weren't allowed a cup of tea because that was what caused your divorce the year before, wasn't it? Yeah. Gary's face, he keeps thinking I'm going to say something like terrible. And he's going...
He was awful.
Yeah, he was a right old...
No time for, what did I say? The clock's ticking or something?
You said something because you didn't tell me and somebody heard you and shamed you on Facebook.
I was wounded. I still had my cup of tea.
Too right. Yeah. Anyone tells me I don't have time for a cup of tea, I will be even slower than normal.
Friendship ending.
My total. Delete. Do you have any niggles or anything, Rob? Or are you pretty injury free?
This year I've been pretty injury free. Yeah, I have to go down the stairs sideways on a morning, but I think once you're 50, it's like a prerequisite of life, isn't it? But
if you don't have a banister, you're really... The little cottage we're staying at now is incredible because it's got a banister. So those first 3 or 4 steps when you're like... And I've got younger kids, so the dogs wake up and they're like, hello, let's go. And I'm trying to get down the stairs quickly so nobody else wakes up. But I'm like, oh God. Oh my God. But it's got a banister so I can sort of almost get down. But it's only got a loo upstairs, which is like, it's awful. So I'm like, how long can I? And I drink so much tea. Anyway, we've digressed.
What I did do was I used the CBD ointment every day on my toes. Coated them every morning. I'd get up, same routine, downstairs before I put my socks on. CBD ointment, rub it in my toes.
Is it arthritis in your toes?
Probably, but I just think it's the fact that you're running all the time and the downhills. So yeah, I've been very, very lucky this year.
No, you've not been lucky. You've worked jolly hard.
Yeah, but I just mean with injuries that I haven't had anything serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you make you look, Robbo. You have been going to the gym more than ever. I know you got some weights in your garage and things like that, but this year definitely everyone joined up one gym, or I'm on my own fitness factory. But yeah, definitely been
Fitness factory.
Cheapskate.
One gym's all shiny, and I'm in the industrial unit. But hey, all gets the job done. But yeah, definitely looking at you, you've been very diligent down the gym and consistency. And unlike me, probably guilty of probably doing too much sometimes. I think you managed it. Yeah, definitely managed it. And all county tops was just like, yeah, such a standout performance for you. It was pretty good, actually. I think usually it's me maybe half stepping you.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah.
But 2024 county tops was a reverse. I think all the photographs are me fading into the distance.
Hey, it happens, doesn't it?
Right.
Right. Let's talk about the race this year's race. Let's focus on that. We've heard hours of Gary's story. Have you listened to it, Robbo?
I did, yes. There's a couple of pointers I think he's got slightly wrong, but yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Let's deep dive into this. Let's go for it.
End this Zoom call now.
Gary leaves.
Well, it's interesting because I think I did qualify before I start. Maybe we didn't record it, but it's always interesting how there could be 5 people in a room and everybody remembers things slightly differently. So that's in my defense. Right. Go on then, Robbo. Sorry.
Let's start. What should we do? Do you want to talk through the race?
Anything you want. Do you want me to just go?
Just go for it. Let's talk through the race, and then Gary can add in the bits that he knows, and I'll mark and ask questions.
To be fair, the first constant Seathwaite to Boot, not a problem, really. On the way to Boot, Gary was just slightly ahead of us, and I'd been chatting to, is it Matt Neal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lovely bloke, and
Lovely
another couple of blokes slightly behind. And I got caught up talking about the Just Nail around, and you were slightly ahead, and I was thinking, oh, God, he's going to leave us here. But luckily for me, Gary went the wrong way. Because he followed somebody. So he took
I followed Matt. I thought if anyone to follow, Matt is the guy to follow.
Any national trail in the UK above Birmingham, follow Matt Neal. He's probably laid the slabs and he went the wrong way. Do you blame him?
Yeah.
Do you think that's where it went 100% wrong?
100% Matt's fault, yeah.
I was just toddling on towards Boot until you caught back up, didn't you, coming down?
Yeah.
And then everything was going perfectly well, really, I thought. You saved us coming into Wasdale because that would have been game over.
Well, maybe. We never know how it's going to pan out, things like that.
But I think the Superman was coming out, wasn't he? So I was pretty lucky there. It was a bit pacey going out of Wasdale up Blacksail, up and over. Because I'm usually stronger on the climbs, and I was thinking, oh, he's going for it here. This is the point where I'm going to get burned. We came down into Buttermere and we flew around there. And I mean, considering it's a couple of miles around the checkpoint at Buttermere, I just thought, well, yeah, I'm keeping up. And my whole game plan was to stay with Gary till Dalemate. I had everything crossed for that.
Are you running like side by side? Is somebody keeping the pace?
Just slightly.
What's the work rate like here?
Everything was pretty well, and then got into Braithwaite, filled the stuff up, and then I thought he was having a laugh with the bloke outside before he just made the most horrendous noise I've ever heard. And I was like, oh no. And then he puked a couple of times, and I was thinking, where's that come from?
It was out of nowhere, wasn't it? There was no, apart from me farting for probably 7 hours, there was no...
Yeah, I'm used to that though, so... That's every race. So I do keep telling to go to the toilet, but you won't have it.
It's just gas.
Nervous gas. Yeah. Keeps it in too long, makes them poorly. So you tell your kids, go to the toilet.
Yeah. Even though I'd been sick of Braithwaite, if memory's right, we okay all the way until Blencathra. I don't think I was in a great mood once I'd started being sick, but we
were going along this 591 or whatever it is, isn't it? Like my water bottle exploded. It took us a while to catch her up before we went on to like the little cycle track way and then up the Trig. So I was obviously worried about only having the one bottle. By the time we got to Dockgrave, that's when the problems started and we started to slow slightly.
Did you sort of say to him, mate, you got to start eating? Are you eating?
I think what it is you're getting the checkpoint, and because you're looking at the time, you're thinking, we just got to be in and out. Gary's going to the toilet. I'm ready, so I'm waiting. Then he comes in, fills his stuff, and then we're out. And then he's like not being able to get anything down and making some really bad noises. And I'm just saying, just slow down. And I think that was the problem, is Gary still wanted to move at pace, but I think we just had to slow down. It happens, doesn't it? Once the engine room starts to go, you've had it, I think. And I think he was still on the blocks then, but I'd said to start taking gels, because precision hydration, without a doubt, has been the best fuel that I've used at all in any races. But the blocks, you need to do for me, you would have to do the blocks in the first 30 mile of a long race.
Yeah. And it goes down easily. I totally agree. Your block, your shot, your gel.
Yeah.
When you're moving, and you're moving that much quicker when you don't want to be you feel fine. And then definitely you need to turn to more solid. So you're moving really well, Robbo. When did the discussion, did it happen that like you're slowing down?
I honestly still thought at that point, because I knew Gary had been bad the year before. I know he's my best mate, but he's a solid runner. And he's like, he's the winged goat. Like, he knows he can just shift. His marathon training tells you that. So I was just thinking, that long section into Dale Main, this is where he's going to go. And I think I struggled a little bit on the last part going into Dale Main along the track past the castle as he hit Dakra. And I was ready for the checkpoint there. Once we got into the checkpoint, it was the first time I think Gary had sat down, and it was like, oh, we're not in and out here.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we were going to be in and out.
I couldn't wait for that.
Did you look at him with disappointment? Were you like,
tap his watch, Eddie?
judgy? No,
I was quite fortunate, really, because my oldest daughter and a partner, Andrew, were there, or Carrie and Andrew, were outside the tent. And I hadn't seen them before we'd set off from Coniston. So it was like a little bit of a bonus. And it's always the kids are like, oh, he'll cry at Dale Main. He always cries at Dale Main. And yeah, I generally do. But I was like, I'm not crying this time. So,
solid.
It's energy, isn't it? It's all energy.
I went out to see them, said hello, came back in, got changed. And I mean, the bloke who was helping out in the checkpoint, I think he was the one who was on the top of Scarfell Pike for the All County Tops, the oldest pro.
Yeah.
What a man. He was just like, put your rubbish on the floor. You don't have to pick it up. I'm like, he just felt really, really comfortable. And I think, I mean, I'd changed within minutes and I was just waiting to go, but I didn't change my socks. I kept my same trainers on. I only changed my top.
Yeah.
And Gary was like looking, and he just had this massive bag of chews. And I'm thinking,
what were you eating, Robbo? Was his gagging and general?
Yeah, I had to walk every time he started a gag. I move about 10 meters ahead because that's just horrendous.
That would have. Yeah, when you're not feeling.
Every checkpoint was the precision hydration, like dissolvable block. That was straight in. Always orange, banana, and any fruit.
Okay.
I was doing the precision blocks and Kendall mint cake. Took the rest of the precision blocks that I dumped in my drop bag, and then just picked up Kendall mint cake and precision hydration gels.
Did you drink any calories?
Just the precision hydration, electrolyte stuff. I think my drop bag had a protein drink in and a Red Bull.
Oh my God.
That is rolling the dice, Robbo. Classic.
So,
did you drink them both? I know you had your protein shake, but did you have the Red Bull too?
No, I didn't drink the Red Bull, but it was there just in case. Because I thought, if I'm flagging here, I'll need to have a shot of something.
You're at Delmain. Gary's making a fuss and generally, being
diva.
Being a diva. Why did you not leave him there? Because I'm sure he would have if you'd gone, I'm going to go, I can't.
Because I honestly still thought at that point that I would be left by Gary. Even then,
wow, my goodness me, I'm surprised to hear that. Okay.
The point I thought was Fusedale. Going up Fusedale, there was you and I, Ben Abdelnur, Martin was there, Martin Wilson, and there was another bloke, I'm afraid I can't remember his name. And that's when I knew, because I just kept going, and yous were all quite slow, really, weren't you? Well, we were both slow because we were putting jackets on. And it's at that point I thought, yeah, he's not having the best of days, but I still didn't think it would affect it that much because we were still ahead, or we still ahead of what I thought I was going to finish at.
Okay, yeah, because we would have been way off 24-hour. I think Doc Ray was probably the last sniff of it.
When was the bit where you lost the timing card, and then you were like, well, I don't care anyway.
That was after Blaine Cathra said.
Somewhere between there. Somebody will find that on the
coach.
Did
it, I think the loss of the stats sheet knocked his end in, and that was it.
You two are such stats guys. You were like pretty much not on Strava now. The stats.
I printed off another one already. We've got a year to go. I printed off another one already. Sealed it up. I can see it.
I still don't know where it'll be.
So have you had any lows in the race yet, Robbo? Are you still like...
No.
Are you...
He's thumbs up and seen all the photographs, said he?
I know. I'm like just trying to make you feel a bit better, Gary. Is there a little bit of you that, like, when you are running with someone, one that is going just a little bit slower than you can, it does make it... You're just able to fuel a bit better and almost be able to, like... not enjoy it, but you can think of stuff like jackets and stuff. Was there a little bit of you that was like, you know, I'm quite enjoying this, that Gary is a little bit of the weaker link than me, and it's not, you know, it's not me. I know that sounds like that's not nice, but also it's like,
I lied.
Oh, thank God it's not me.
Like, I didn't expect him not to be well all the way around. So yeah. I mean, the one low point is Mardale Head had no cheese and pickled onions on sticks.
Whoa, you've been talking about that as well. You've been
all I've been talking about, was cheese and pickled onions.
And what, they'd all been finished, or they just...
No, just didn't have them that year.
No.
Disgraceful. Did you let that be known in the checkpoint?
No.
Bet Gary did. Did you storm out, Gary, and go...
He was getting photographs then as well, everything. So yeah, you still get.
Is that too much for you, Robbo? Do you find like him constantly asking people to take his photo and put it on Facebook and stuff like too much?
I just get called. Would you mind? I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Would you mind? Yeah, I'm getting much better at taking photographs.
Yeah, just zooming in, portrait mode, in and out. Knowing the angles. What you need to do is every time that you get someone's camera, turn it around. You probably don't even know how to do this, Robbo, but turn it around so it's in selfie mode and take like 20 of yourself. We were at a hen party and the waiter was like, "Shall I take a picture of the table with my camera?" And he turned it round onto selfie mode and taken about 200 pictures of his face. And then he took one of us. He thought it was hilarious. Anyway, we've digressed. Right, let's get out of Mardale because it's a sad place.
We flew up there. To be fair, 31 minutes, I think we did from bottom to top.
Okay,
great. We were still moving quite well down into, is it Garburn?
Yeah, Garburn,
yeah.
And then
Kentmere.
We picked up Martin at that point. The chat went really, really quiet.
It's a long way to go with no conversation.
Yeah, and it was just like, I just remember running down with a pair of them and they're like, "Oh, I was podium last year and I was podium this year." The pair of them between us never paid a penny for the race. Be in the middle, and they're moaning on about not getting the timings. And I'm up for a PB. I'm like, I'm winning here.
We've all been in races where like you've trained so hard for something and we think, which we don't often get, but we think we deserve to not, and then you feel horrible for every step. And it's just like such a chore and you don't enjoy it. And it's just such a battle. And you think...
reflection. I love it. That is the jeopardy. It can't always work. You can't always get your own way. Was it Robbo 38% didn't finish the 100? So just to get...
Right,
and then what's the finish rate for the, say, spine race and Northern Traverse City? I'm not too sure if you know this.
So they're really elite finish level.
Yeah, exactly. The odds are stacked against you just to get to the end of these things. And
I think sometimes as well when we train and we train really well and like if you have a bad session, you sort of like get over it, you'll have a better session. You don't spend every session, all session, like hating it. Very rarely do you go for a run and like it's rubbish. Nearly always you feel better for doing it. And it sort of like gives you a false expectation then of like, I'm going to feel great. So I've done this before. I'm going to feel great. You were like, I'm so excited about this. And then when it's really hard and horrible, you kind of forget that bit as well, don't you? About hundreds, that they are really, really hard. However many times you do them, however fit you are, the lows are crushingly low. There's nowhere you can hide. And that silence. I know when I'm in the deep sickness cave and people are like, and I'm like, I cannot talk, because all my energy, if I talk, I think I'm going to be, not only am I going to be sick, but I just don't want to. You just have to go in your like little hole, don't you? I'm still, Robbo, I'm trying to get it out of you when you wanted to leave him. But
this is the point where Gary at first said, what do you want to do? And that was probably the first and only conversation we had where it was like, what do you want to do? And Gary had said, do you want to stay together? Or the first conversation was, if we go towards the line together and we're V50, you can have it. And I was like, well, I wouldn't want it on my own. Do you know what I mean? That's not what it's about. And he said, well,
I'll take it then.
They might not give it to us both. And I was like, well, I'm sure they would if we both cross the line together. I don't really fancy a sprint finish, but like, because he's super fast and nimble. And then he'd said, well, if it did come to that, you can have it. And I was like, well, it won't happen. And then he said, do you want to stay together? And I was like, yeah. And I think that's what it was, just like, are you sure? And that was the first time he sort of indicated that he wasn't going to have a really good day and he was going to be out a little bit longer than he thought. And I just said, if I can have a full day out, I'm running with you. I never imagined that I'd finish the Lakeland 100 with Gary. For me, is a massive feat, regardless of how bad he's had a day, to finish the Lakeland 100 with the bloke I met in 2018, who I look up to, who gives us all my training tips. That for me, it was the perfect day. So I couldn't have had any lows, because everything was I was just happy. I'm going to finish it with my mate. He hasn't left us at Daleman or Dock Gray or Black Sail Pass. He hasn't burnt us off. Yeah, he's not too well, but I don't care because I'm having a great day. That was the first and only time we talked about it.
Did you want him to go, Gary? Were you like, oh, go on, have your day? Or were you like, please stay, don't leave me?
If I'm truthful, I think I probably was just quite happy either way, to be honest. I knew I'd get to the end. I appreciate Robbo staying with me. You know, we've had quite a few runs together, and it's yo-yoed between who's having a good day and a bad day.
I still think it flew for me. Even the silent bits coming out of Kentmere, it just slowed, didn't it? That was it. Just slowed.
Well, it's natural. It is going to slow. Yeah. I think it would be ideal if you could kind of negative split 100-mile race, but I think the reality of that is pretty slim. So it is inevitable it's going to slow. And if I'm honest with the 26 hours, it didn't slow as much as I thought it was going to, maybe from Mardale onwards. So yeah, it's natural. It's going to slow. And when we've done these recce's in the past and the little sections seem to move so fast, but on that day, going from Kentmead to Ambleside, even though we had company, I think Richard McDowell popped up on the trail. So we were like, a little punctuated with a nice distraction from time to time. But yeah, it just seemed to take so much longer than what my mind was prepared for. So that was a struggle. But yeah, having a happy face and a constant bit of chat. I think you were trying to use some general knowledge on us. You had some pop quiz for us.
Movie, I think the Gremlins. What makes Gremlins multiply? And both you and Martin just looked at us like,
what are you on about?
Where are you getting that from? I was digging deep, Eddie.
Yeah, I was digging deep on that. I know, I've been there. I hear you. And like, come on, we got to do anything, guys. We got to do anything. Let's jump forward and then let the finish video when you come into the tent in Coniston. Robbo, you are like a kid at Christmas, and you come in looking like you've done sort of like Ambleside to Coniston as like a recce run.
Yeah.
Gary is destroyed. The red shorts are heavily stained. How did you feel? How did you feel in that last section? How did you feel at the finish?
Great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. When we came over, we crossed the line together. I'd said Martin to go in the tent first because that was his slate year. So you get the nice big cheers as he went in. And then obviously the celebrity goes in next. let him get in because he just wanted to have a sit down and get it over with. I just think that whole finish as you walk into the tent, it's just so special. I was pleased it was over.
Yeah.
26 hours out. If I could have pushed the pair of them just to get that sub 26, I'd have been over the moon. They weren't playing
no
at all.
But I think as well, I think if you had, or you'd left them maybe like that last little bit to go, I'm going to push, I think you'd have probably looked back and gone, I wish. Yeah. It wasn't the time. This is the story. Yeah. The story of, and I think that's what touched people's hearts a lot. Obviously Gary's in a lot of people's hearts and they followed his journey, but then you there's something about a mate helping a mate and staying with you and you just saying then well, it was, it's the best. I still, even though Gary puking, I still wanted to be with him. You're a bigger man than I'd have left him.
Yeah.
That's something I think a lot of us would resonate. Hope we would resonate with that and be as wonderful as you were, Robbo, and stay with our mates.
I appreciate that.
But also, I think probably it's having run together. That relationship we have with our running friends is very different from any other friends because you tell your mates, you share a lot of your life on the trails that perhaps you don't tell anybody else because it's so easy. It's like the weekend therapy, isn't it? To go, blah, and she said that and he said that. Can you never believe it? You share a lot of that. That person, running is a real soul. You go deep into somebody's soul. You really see that true what that person is truly like, don't you?
And you know them, don't you?
Really
that special knowledge of each other and Gary and his family, and he knows mine, and
there's no hiding.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? And also there's probably as well, you're looking after Gary. Gary's Lisa. If you'd come back and you'd gone, oh, I left him. He's not doing good. And I couldn't put his jacket on, but I left him. So it's kind of sorry.
It's a tough conversation, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a tough conversation. But you guys have been through so much together. I love that. But I love that the tables are turned a little bit as well now, and maybe your next adventure as well, you're both going to be unstoppable because you're
well, let's really see, because it could all go wrong.
It could all go horribly wrong.
Oh, it's so fragile. Yeah.
You do know he's going to train twice as hard and really, really kill us. Could be another Friday night session where I have to go to bed at 8 o'clock because I'm so tired.
So are you going to do anything
different?
See
them coming up.
Oh yeah, I remember that session. Was it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 or something crazy like that? But yeah, you talked about training for 2025. More of the same, or you think you're going to tweak it a bit?
I don't think it would be beneficial to change much. I'd start the spinning again, the kettlebell classes again, only once a week for the kettlebell. Just try and get that bit more strength work and then just hit the plan. I know there's a few lads going to be doing the cement running in the new year for the marathons, joining them sessions again. And I think I'll pretty much keep it the same, only slightly do the longer double days, the Saturday and the Sunday for the longer days.
Yeah, because our plan, Eddie, Sage Canada didn't have a 100-mile plan. He had a 50-mile plan, so that's what we bought. That's why we never did these massive...
I don't think he does a 100-mile. That's why. Not being cheap, I just don't think he does it.
I don't think he does. But our next race, and we both committed to this, to train for that, is All County Tops 2025.
Yeah, because we talked a little bit about that being you're going to go for it. Is it going to be
shots fired? Yeah, shots fired big time. That's the A race. I'll tip up at London Marathon, but that is just I won't train for London. I'll be training.
If we get to that finish line and they say you're the winners,
we are not saying
and we are this
everything
year.
Stop, podcast stop, everything stop.
Yeah,
never have to run again.
I might even retire.
Where'd you go from that first place? All County Tops.
For me, it's the most iconic race that I do, the All County Tops. But to have it snatched cruelly away because somebody had went to get a pint instead of picking the first place trophy up,
I know,
and them thinking that we were the winners. Oh, devastation.
5 seconds, we thought we'd win it.
But you must feel like the Olympic medalists that think they've won the silver and then they're downgraded to bronze. It must be very similar to that as well.
Exactly.
I still wear the T-shirt even though it's tainted. So,
It's good. It's motivation.
yeah.
So what about your 2025 Lakeland 100 goals? This could be quite an awkward
I
question.
think for me, it's
Slate, time goal, PBs?
late, time goal. I want the 25.
I think you were being conservative with that, to be honest. If you were consistent the rest of this year and next year, how you were, and if you had, we all need a bit of luck. If you have that standout performance,
I don't think I'm fast enough in the first part to be able to push it. I think we got there about 7:15 to Dale Main. I might have been in a different place if we'd gotten there at about between 6:30 and 7. And if we'd been on point, that might have been me doing a bit of a shuffle. I think I'm a 25.
I think you are.
That's my goal.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, Phil. Let's hold it. Let's write it down. It. Be like a proper Instagrammer, Robbo, and like write that on your mirror and stuff, and then manifest it every day as you're drinking your like big water bottle and like every morning at 5 a.m. I meditate for 15 minutes and manifest 25 hours.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait actually to see how 2025 pans out. Well, yeah, fingers crossed. Everybody who's on that.
I'd sell a kidney.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because 2 kidneys overrated.
Well, Lisa doesn't.
Yeah, you've got spleen. I don't think you need the spleen either. You could, or you could like just set up selfies with Gary and like see if you could get in that way. I can get Gary in some compromising positions.
The red short selfie. It's the OnlyFans, Tea and Trails OnlyFans page for that one. Okay, should we do the quick 5, Robbo? Are you ready for this?
Are you ready? I think we could employ Robbo because he's funny. He's quick-witted. He could write us our quick 5 script. He's got some banter. He's got some bants.
Bit of bants.
Gary might censor some of the things I send.
He's been very well behaved tonight.
There's quite a few questions I've sent to him that haven't appeared on the guest chat.
Yeah, to fill her out.
Could we do that? Could we do Robbo's question?
Robbo's corner.
If you've got kids in the car, just turn it down a little bit now.
Okay, first question. If you had a dog, would it be allowed on furniture?
Without a doubt.
What's happened? You've not got a dog anymore.
Sadly, she passed away a couple of years ago, but she'd had a good one.
She'd had a good life.
Really good one.
And would there be a dog in your future?
Maybe it's when I retire.
Oh, yeah. It's hard, isn't it? Full-time job that's not dog-friendly. That is not the dream. But okay, there's still a dog in.
Eddie and I were mincing around the Spinney, Easton Village. We're going to knock on your door. We're famished, Robbo. What are you going to
my God, I am hungry. And I need it now. I need it now. I don't care what it is.
I would go probably sweet potato, butternut squash, vegan curry with a lime salsa.
My goodness me. Is that the best signature dish ever?
That is the best.
I love it.
Because Robbo also has done his homework. So he's not going, I do a nice spaghetti bolognese. And then, Gary, you have to go, awkward because Eddie's vegetarian. Robbo knows what is tickling my fancy right from the off. And I don't think you're going to get a taste of that.
Not too hot, but just
not
nice.
too hot, just enough taste sensation in there. Right. Yeah. Book me in. Not too far away from you now, Robbo.
I've heard.
Well, it's 6:20. Could be there.
Yeah, I could probably make it by then.
All from scratch though, Eddie.
Yeah, so we're going to give him time. We probably can fit in a quick run before, and we'll leave him. Yeah. We'll leave him to it because I like that butternut squash a little bit roasted. I don't want it. I don't want it floppy.
You don't want it just straight in the pan, do you?
Oh no! When Bryn does that, it drives me mad, and I'm going. You've not put your effort into this one, have you? It's all a bit floppy.
Bucket list race. Oh, it doesn't have to be a race, actually. It could be a challenge.
Ooh. Just nail a challenge at the minute, I think. We've talked about it for the last couple of years, haven't we? I was just waiting until you were 50, to be fair.
Yeah, that'll be great. Do you think we'll do it this year? Do you think we'll squeeze it in this year? Because we've got all county tops, 30 valleys. Sorry, mate, True to Helvellyn.
That's down to you. Whether or not, we'll see. We'll see.
Winter Joss. That's a bit spicy.
Can I be invited, or is it you two? And then you guys go no,
and then
you go. You can come, but you've got to drive yourself. and we're not
We
going
need witnesses. You need a lot of support on a Joss. It's
I'll
like
come and
the Bob.
support. I'll come and support.
Ooh.
I
Can't
think
steal.
for that, it's just you've got to have a go, haven't you? You've got to give it a go.
Let's give it a go.
Last bit of running kit you remember buying?
It was for the Lakeland 100. It was my Nike Trail combo set.
Oh, yeah. Robbo was matching colours.
Like a little bit of lime green.
You were a lime green
It was
trees. You were an absolute sensation.
To be fair, it looked a little bit like a chavvy winged cocktail top bottom set.
Does it look a bit like some of the guys you arrest? What they're wearing down the back street. I've not done nothing, governor. I've got nothing in my pockets.
Yeah.
You need a quad bike for that, Robbo.
But class piece of kit. Really, like, the shorts are great.
Can I just ask you, you wore the Adidas Terex Ultra, did you? Trainers?
Mint.
Now,
absolutely
how?
mint.
Now, I've tried them. Running uphill, incredible. Definitely felt like I was outperforming again. I can't go downhill on them. They're like too high. But
really?
you were comfy. You were not a problem.
I wasn't looking for the sides of the trails.
Yeah.
I was just going straight over the rocks. Didn't matter how bad they were. That was the game changer for me. I always think like I've used the S-Lab Genesis ones, and I seemed as though I would always try and find the easy side of the
smoother
trails.
line. Yeah.
But them, bang, straight down the middle. I love them. I mean, no shoes great in mud, is it? You know, you probably need a pair of hobnail boots.
Yeah.
To go down some of the, like, coming over Sail Pass and stuff like that. Maybe it's to give me that extra confidence because of the more cushioning.
There's more cushioning and that little bit of spring back.
Yeah.
I think that helps with the
unbelievable
descending a little bit as well, because it's giving you're not working on that bounce. It's giving back. So it's just picking your feet up a little bit if perhaps you don't pick your feet up as much.
I rate them. And I've tried every possible brand of trainer.
I don't remember you moaning. Once about them. Yeah.
Do you know, the only thing I would probably put in, I'd wear differently with them is I'd probably go with a thicker pair of trail socks.
Because there's no support in the upper, like around the ankle.
I just felt like a little bit of heat. I had no blisters, nothing like that. Trench cream, again, class. But I had just like, I felt hot at points, mainly the road sections, the flatter sections, where you were kicking along a little bit. I'd probably go for thicker socks. Unbelievable. I couldn't rate them any better, me.
A lot of love. A lot of love for the Terex.
Yeah.
I mean, Lisa only saw them on Friday night. She didn't know I had them.
All right, it was a little secret purchase. We've all done that. Instagram story music time, Robbo. What songs are going to be? What are you going to go for?
Well, this is a little bit special for us, this one. My friend died a few years ago, who I grew up with, really good friend. Did a 5K in Sunderland, went back home, unfortunately passed. And he had the Sauce Candy Statins, You've Got the Love, on the day he was taken in. And 2000, it'll be the second Lakeland 100 I did at Kentmere. The disco they had there, you used to be able to request a song. And I requested it then. And I stopped for the full song. And I miss him. But that, for me, that song just, it's every time it comes on, like club classics or all that, I love that song. And it means so much to us. So it's got a little bit of love for Andy and obviously with the Lakeland 100 as well. So I'd like that one, please.
Oh, he would be super proud of you. And what a mate you were to him, and what a mate you've been to Gary. Thank you, Robbo, for giving us so much content in the podcast, not willingly over the last, over all Gary's adventures. Our families have had to buy into this, even though lots of mine don't even listen. But Robbo, it's so nice that your voice is here. It's so nice to meet you. Thank you.
It's been lovely. Thank you very much.
Thanks for looking after our Gary for this race. And
I will make sure he never wears red shorts again.
Make sure he never wears red shorts again. And as we said a couple of minutes ago, trail running really shows your true character to your friends. And I think that you not even thinking, Gary, I'm out of here. I'm in it for staying with Gary, saying it never really even crossed my mind. I was just proud to be running with him. It says a lot about you, Robbo. So thank you for sharing your story, and hopefully more to come. We'll no doubt hear the trials and tribulations of training.
I'm sure. Thank you very much. I've been so excited since he asked us.
I hope we haven't disappointed. I hope we haven't disappointed.
Not at all. It's been better than I expected.
That's what they all say. Hey!
I got to say, Robbo, honestly, it's such a treat to know you. You never know what's around the corner, and for us to just have a chance meeting all those years back, and then this applies to you, Eddie, too, and then you find two besties. It's just sensational. All the miles that we've shared together, and races and challenges, Bob Graham round, countless hours on the trails. Yeah, I've loved every second. It's just a joy. Cheers, mate. Really appreciate being in my life.
Been class.
Oh, what a joy to meet almost a member of your family, Gary. I feel one step closer to you. I think all our listeners will feel the same as well. And we just love the vibe. We love the vibe he gave off. When I was like, why don't you just leave him? You were crushing it. And he was like, he's such a nicer person than me because he was like, why would I have left? It didn't even I was loving it. I was loving being with Gary. And I mock you, Gary. I laugh that I would leave you. I wouldn't leave you.
I wonder. We never asked it, did we? 2025.
I don't think he would, Gary. Well, he didn't. He did a very good. If he didn't, he kept his poker face on because I don't think he's that sort of person. I
just think I am that sort of person, Eddie. I'm not very nice. If I'm flying, boom, see.
The elbows out. Well, we're all different. I don't know. I don't want to say. Anyway, Robbo, thank you.
Well, you make a great point. I think you said, how could you go back to and have a chat with your wife and said, oh yeah, I left him at Dale.
Gary's he's not.
Now he's in A&E.
Yeah. And I think maybe as well, you did quite a good job of hiding how crap you felt because he almost was like, I'm
surprised he was saying I was going to rally. He thought I was going to pick it up. I'd thrown the towel in the dog here. I just hadn't expressed it probably enough.
I loved it. Loved our chat with him, and no doubt now he's broken the seal. He'll be emailing hello@teaandtrails.com every other week. I've got possibly something we could chat about now.
I'll have to vet it though. He has to run it past me first.
Heavy edit. Anyway. No, he's not coming on any of the live shows.
Thanks, Phoenix Light, for sponsoring our Strava Club and Tales on the Trail section. Don't forget, patrons can enjoy 10% off over at www.phoenixlight.co.uk. First up is Phil Wood. Superb week, Phil. Yeah, 17.1 miles and 19.9 for your long run, 1,660 feet of heavy flex on the long run. 5 times 15 minutes marathon pace blocks in that 19.9 miles. Woof. Who would be scared.
Who would set
what
that?
Crazy person would set that? If I saw that on my plan, I've probably done it. Something similar to that, but that would be like, oof, I've got to get my game face on for that long run. I wonder if you had company. I would love a bit of company for that one.
Would you? I would want to do that by myself because I wouldn't want any dialogue of going too fast, going too slow. I'd want to dial that in. I would do that without any music as well. I would be like raw dog that the whole way.
Oh God, I would be any distraction whatsoever. I'd like someone who's a similar pace.
I didn't tell you that. Of course I did. Do you know on my Find My AirPods, you can get them to make a noise for you? So we did it as like a morning activity and because there's not a great deal, where could they have gone? And we set them to like make a noise and we were like creeping around the house going, because it said they were in the house.
Yeah.
We did, but the noise they make is like, it's like a little mouse. I actually really enjoyed there not being any noise because just no music, no podcast, nothing, just me. And I'm but you don't realize how much. And I remember that listening, a cross-country skier was like, I would never listen to music while I trained because I need to hear. How do I know? And he was quite right. You do need, if you can hear, when you've got music and podcasts on, you can't hear your breathing. And quite often the zone, if I haven't got my heart rate monitor on, I'm just feeling, and I'll run up a hill and I'd be like, this isn't truly easy because I'm working to run up this hill because I'm listening to AC/DC Thunderstruck. But as soon as it's quiet, you're like, oh my God. And also both of us, Gary, we're quite... Put my trainers on, I'm out of breath.
I love the noises though. I love the birds and stuff. I love hearing all those nature noises, which you don't
Anyway,
really
we're stealing Phil's thunder. Sorry.
I know, goodness me. Yeah,
awesome
easy
work.
miles too. An incredible
What a
week there,
what a
Phil.
week. What a
I
week.
wonder who his coach is.
Must be
incredible. Next up is Michelle. Your request to follow Michelle, but 42-mile long run. Anyway, sorry, getting ahead of myself. 62.7 miles for the week, 42.4-mile long run, and 7,224 feet of vert. What was that long run? You may thought maybe the Devil Highland, but I'm not too sure of the deets on that race. Reach out, Michelle. Super curious. What was that? 42.4 miles. Last, but by no means least, Stephen Madison. Big long run, park run, and a smoking fast 10K. Awesome stuff, Stephen. Wonder what he's training for. This time of year could be York Marathon. I think York is probably his closest, geography-wise, marathon in the autumn. But 58.7 miles for the week, 20-mile longest run.
Gary, that's like your perfect week. A 5K effort, a 10K effort, and a 20-mile run. Put everything in there. Tick all the speed long run boxes.
Well, honestly, you lean on for me personally, this is why I really love cross-country so much, but if you're at all struggling to maybe find the motivation to do your workouts, park run, awesome, and then a 10K, boom. And that was an event. So
we've got a park run here, and I want to take the kids, but I'm also too scared because they will fry me. They will, and I'm going to disappoint them. Out the blocks, first 3K, not a chance. But then they'll absolutely blow up. And I think
it's funny psychology. I'm just thinking Steve's 20-mile long run. 20-mile long run for the roads, I would be like, oh my goodness. Same as Phil, 19.9 miles. I take a lot of mental support to get myself up for that. And if I was doing 20 miles locally on the trails, again, that would be quite a big deal. If I was to jump in a car and do 20 miles wouldn't be enough in the lakes. I think I needed to do more because I've just traveled for 3 hours there and back. So it's a strange psychology, the mileage. But 1,180 feet of vert. So super impressive. Kudos to all our Strava Club members. And if you would like to be with a chance of a random shout out, then pop over to Strava and join our Strava Club. Tales from the trails.
You got a cuppa, Gary? This.
Empty.
Yeah, mine's empty too. This is a big one. I just need to moisten a little. Hang on a second. I'm lubed up. I'm ready for this. This is incredible. It can be quite tricky to schedule telephone calls when friends and family move overseas and the time difference means that our day is their nighttime and vice versa. However, during my recent GB Ultra Brecon Beacons 105k race, it worked out to my advantage that my good buddy Trish is living on the other side of the world in Australia and was wide awake while most of the UK was fast asleep. Whilst my two elite dragonback tent buddies, Gary and Robin, were up in the lake smashing their 100-mile run, I had entered this much smaller event trotting over the Welsh mountains. It was a lovely sunny day and I found myself having a splendid time and doing quite well. I was not trying too hard as I was just a month before my return to Dragon's Back, so I didn't want to be left with any enduring fatigue, but when I heard that I was First Lady, I was keen to maintain this position if I could do without pushing too hard. It wasn't actually much of an achievement to be First Lady, as there were so few women taking part in the race at all. We were unfortunately very underrepresented, and I'd highly recommend this stunning route and well-organised event to other female runners for next year. Anyway, I was making good progress until the 97th kilometre, 14 hours into the race, when my watch ran out of battery. It was 2 a.m, pitch dark, and I was alone. 8K from the end with no clue where to go. I'd already gone off the western edge of the mandatory OS map that I'd been carrying, and my phone battery was also dangerously low due to having been listening to a really fun mood booster playlist as I ran through the bogs. I contemplated waiting for the runner behind me to catch up so I could join them and run the rest together, but the field of runners was spread out and I didn't know how long that'd be, so I decided to ring my hubby for help instead, despite it being 2 a.m. Surely he'd answer and support his lost damsel in distress. Bryn's had a few of those phone calls. Thankfully, he did answer his phone, and due to my phone battery limitations, I quickly explained my predicament and asked him to check whether my dot was still on the right line. How am I supposed to do that? He replied. With the tracker, I yelled impatiently. Haven't you been following my progress all day? He didn't have a clue what I was talking about and obviously was not a bit interested in how I was getting on in the race. Anyway, he sounds sensational. Anyway, I asked him to give me directions, and as a mountain leader, I had reasonable expectations that he'd be able to keep me on track to the end. However, he started dithering in detail about various paths to the south and another to the southwest, contour lines and all sorts of information that wasn't really helping me in my time-critical predicament. I was conscious of my phone battery level and getting rather frustrated with his lengthy explanations. Then my angel from Oz arrived in the form of an incoming call from Trish, who'd been watching my dot and had spotted that something was wrong. Immediately, I hung up from hubby and explained the situation to Trish, who was absolutely amazing. From that point on until the end of the race, we had about 12 30-second WhatsApp calls, during which she gave me clear, concise and brief instructions for the next couple of steps that I needed to do. Go down the path to Meter Road, take left, bend sharp right over a bridge and look for path on your right, 200 metres on. Then I'd hang up, execute the instructions and call her back for the next instalment. I felt like a soldier on a high-stealth nighttime mission in contact with Comms HQ. I visualised her sitting in her combat fatigues with multiple high-tech screens and a team around her wearing headsets overseeing the exercise to ensure its perfect execution. Arriving into the village where the race ended, Trish was directing me from Australia over the line. Go past 3 houses on your right, then after the hedge, take the alleyway to the right, then turn left towards the school. It was like she had a drone overhead following my every move, ready to take down the enemy. I yelled at her down the line. I can see the finisher gantry, hung up and crossed the line to pick up the first female trophy, which entirely belongs to Trish Patterson for successfully acting as my human GPX for the last 8K at 3 a.m. It was the most exciting and dramatic finish I've ever had. When I usually would have been groaning with achy legs at that point after such a big day out, I was chuckling to myself and so thankful to have such a good friend who stepped in my hour of need. Thank you, Trish. I know it's only your interview guests who get to choose a song, but mine would be I Get By with a Little Help from My Friend. Thank you, Andrea Harwood. Good pal of yours, Gary.
Yes, Dragon's Back tent mate.
Trish will love the fact that she was pictured in her combats.
What a story. I love it. And I just visualize, I've watched films where, down the corridor, take a left through the first door. I can just see that. And Andrea, Northern Traverse. You would have seen her on the Northern Traverse race too. She was Marshall.
Yes, I did. I did meet her. Yeah. Ball of energy.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Did you guess too? I just think that's such a great Tales from the Trails.
Thanks again, Phoenix Lights, for sponsoring our Tales from the Trails. We love sharing them. Keep them coming. Please email them to hello@tntrails.com.
We've got a hot 5-star review, Edwina. Hilarious and inspiring. I'm so delighted I stumbled upon this podcast a few weeks back. I'm based in Portugal. I'm a novice trail runner who got into the sport in order to better discover my new country after moving here a few weeks back. The hosts of Tea and Trails are excellent company for any outdoor adventure or a day of household chores. I've been learning so much about trail running in the time I've been listening. Yes, of course, I have been binging on episodes. The hosts' accomplishments and training schedules have inspired me to strive for more in my own modest pursuits, and the guests have expanded my understanding of what I even knew was possible. As an American, I'm absolutely tickled by listening to the diversity of UK accents and Eddie's impressive yet hilarious American accent. I wonder which part of America you gravitate with your accent.
Me, I think there's pretty much, I think I cover most of like the East Coast and some of the West Coast and also like the Northern Borders and the Southern Territories. I think I just encompass.
Is it like enough
states
already? That's like a Northeast, isn't it?
I don't know what that was.
New York.
Gary.
New York, enough already.
I love a New York. I'll take a taxi. with a burger.
And yes, I can understand all of you. Wow, that's impressive, actually, most of the time. Because when I look back at the subtitles, that YouTube,
Hilarious.
oh my goodness me, it really struggles. I'll admit there was one moment when I wondered why in the world Gary asked a guest what their favourite takeaway meal was and what takeaway meal is in the first place. On a more serious note, I really appreciate the diversity of topics and guests featured on the episodes and the fact that the show is committed to gender parity and not being a total sausage fest like some inferior running podcasts are. Keep up the great work. T. Hella, Zach via Apple Podcasts, United States of America.
United States
International.
of America.
Thank you.
No sausages here. We are not allowed.
We do try our best. My goodness me, it is super hard.
Try our best. It's what we do, Gary. We share the trails. There's no gender. We're one. We are merged on this podcast. I never think of you like as a man.
Awesome.
I think I'm lucky like that, though, that I don't think of, I don't feel intimidated by you in any way. I feel pity for you.
Oh, God. This could have been such a lovely moment, Eddie. Instead, you've questioned my masculinity.
No, but it goes the same with you. You don't ever treat me like little old lady.
I'd hope not. Yeah, completely equal.
You're always even though I'm the one that's often whining the little old lady chores about the childcare and the stuff. But those are just the roles. We've got different roles in our everyday life.
I'll fit an integrated cooker. You'll go and clean the cooker.
Oh my God. Whoopsie. There we go. Stereotypical. But to be fair, I wouldn't want to fit. I'd much prefer to give it. I love a good clean. And you'd probably be like, I prefer to fit that and I'll walk away.
The fear, when you turn that oven on for the first time, you've not killed yourself wiring it up in the first place.
When you go to bed, are you like, please don't let there be a little spark?
Oh my God. Yeah. Fearful.
Plenty of room here, Gary. Plenty of room here for you and the family.
Yeah, we love your 5-star reviews. Keep them coming in. We say it every week. It really does help put this little podcast in front of people who might not know about the podcast and really enjoy it too. So really appreciate all those 5-star reviews.
I've not been spotted once in Scotland yet, Gary. Not one person has run past me and gone. To be fair, I don't think I've run past anybody because I go out at 5:30 in the morning. Maybe I need to be more sociable on my the times that I go running. But
I noticed a split when I went to Trail Outlaws East Coast Trail Run event. Nobody said Gary from the podcast. I didn't know people there. Did
you hand out flyers? Were you I
had my goddamn t-shirt on. I was repping and everything.
Nothing.
Well, Lakeland 100. Completely different. So West Coast.
West Coast, right? We need
if
to.
I want a boost, we've got the West Coast.
I'm going for a boost. I'm going for a boost this weekend. I am going on my holiday for a day. I'm going to meet the sensational Wild Heart runners, which are Debbie Martin Gonzalez and Karen Nicol. Karen has just done 40 yards at Backyard Ultra. She is not going to want to be running with Eddie this weekend. We were going to split. But they have got a social run, which is not far from me. I cannot wait. So I'm going to go and catch up with two of my besties and do a little 6 miles, 2,500 feet of climbing. Hope I can keep up.
Oof.
I'm contemplating taking Lindy so she can pull me up the hill, but she's not a joy. She's not a joy in a social gathering. No, everybody loves Lindy. I know. It's strange.
What?
So I'm looking forward to having some chat, getting in the Scottish running scene. See, Gary, making some new friends, learning some new trails, and hopefully I'll be able to keep up. Another 10-hour running week on the cards, going well so far. I've already done 4-mile tempo, not planned. I went the wrong way up the river, and then I realised I'd missed the bridge, so I had to go onto the next bridge. And I thought, this is how bad my map reading was. I thought I was heading back, and I was going the wrong way. I was going up the river, and I thought I was coming down. Oh my God, what am I doing? That's
one of the skills, isn't it? If there's a river somewhere and you're lost, head downstream.
Head downstream. What was I thinking? what was I thinking? I was like, oh my God, I got so stressed. And then I was 4 miles from home and I was like, oh my God, the kids are going to be up. I'm wondering like where I am. So I ran so fast, my knees were knocking together, Gary. Home, I didn't run, it wasn't that fast.
Stress run.
And yeah, stress run. Messaging the oldest who's got a phone going, you okay? I'm coming, I'm sorry. He didn't even answer. And he wasn't awake. And then I got back, I was like, is he all right? I'm so sorry. Like, oh, we didn't notice. We just thought, so used to mum abandoning them.
Yeah.
We just thought you're out running, mum. There's no rush. Because the minute I come back in, I'm like, television off, time to get up, get dressed.
Yeah.
They're like, please don't come back. Anyway, a few bike workouts. I'm gonna slot those in. God, I'll have a stiff after that. Not been on the bike for a few months, but I feel super motivated again.
Condition that butt, Eddie.
Oh, it's going to be a few.
Oh,
Probably won't do that before Saturday. And sorting the kids out, starting new schools, going to an actual school. They've actually got to wear school shoes.
Oh, goodness. Can they wear trainers, like black trainers? Or
No,
shoes?
they've got to be leather. I did try. I said, can they wear? Oh, no. I thought, oh my God, how many leather shoes is that football playing child going to go through?
I know, it triggers me. When I'd see George scraping his shoes up the front street.
I've had to teach the boys how to tie a tie. This is a big life change for them, but all good life skills. They had to go into their school, and I think it was a bit of like they've come from a place where everybody knows your name.
Yeah,
and you know we knew everybody in you. Everybody, like from the person on the till at Carrefour to the guy working the top lift on the highest ski piece, the kids knew, oh, that's the dad of so-and-so, or that's we knew everybody. And so going now to a new place where they're the very small fish as well, but really important, like such a big life skill to go from, because we all have to do it at some point in our life, go from where you're really comfortable to making new friends, going in. That first day for you, I still get it, and I'm not even going to the school, of dropping them off and going, bye guys.
Well, I touched on it this week with Robbo. You never know, you might just meet your best mate. Your best mate could just be out there.
I can't meet my best mate because I've already met my best mate. You never know. And I always find through running, you pick up, like we talked with Robbo, you pick up new friends. It's always quite easy to make new friends. Yeah. And I think the kids will be the same because they're all sport crazy. And so that is such a good thing. If you want to play sport, you want to do those extra like little sports clubs as well, they'll be fine. But I'm just trying to keep inside, I'm like this absolute ball of anxiety and stress, but outside, like the swan on the outside is gliding. Graceful. It's all going to be fine. It's going to be fine because it isn't exciting. It's such an adventure. And underneath it, I am absolutely terrified. They're not going to see that. And as I keep saying to Bryn, this is, when the next time they probably go and do something big will be them maybe going to uni or going to like even like this little things, but they'll have done this once in a life. It is, though it's not ideal, and they're still, especially Eve's, is a bit like, I want to go home, and I have to be like, no, you don't. But anyway, it'll all be good, and every week you're going to have a little bit less stressed, Eddie, a little bit more relaxed. We're already getting there. Anyway, you want to join World Heart Runners for a 6 mile, 2,500 feet run this Saturday?
No, thank you. Mainly because I'll be pooped, because if I get my finger out, I'll be at the lakes on Friday doing
I want to come to the lakes on Friday.
Come on down. Weather forecast is nice.
I wonder, I think it's 3.5 hours. How far is it for you?
It depends on the lake, which part of the lakes. It could be an hour and a half, could be 2.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm quite a bit further than you. We might have to move you up north a little bit.
Northern lakes.
The Northern Lakes, yeah. Okay, so you're going to go and do a long run?
Hopefully, yeah, if I can be bothered. I think I'm traveling solo, so the motivation isn't really there. I'll put down maybe a workout. I'd done the workout and it went okay, but I was a bit pooped and I had to lean on some electrolytes for the rest of the day.
I think that's another really good sign of recovery as well, is that you feel quite up for the workout. You do the workout, but then it wipes you out for the rest of the day.
I had a little 30-minute lie down before our chat with Robbo yesterday. I was absolutely
sensational. I had a 38-minute little. That's amazing. Those podcasts, like I do find the podcast quite battery draining. Like I want to be fresh. You don't want to go into them.
You need maximum effort.
You need to get, even though it's, even though it might sound like it's not, but you want to go, especially the interviews, not so bothered about you, but the interviews, you've got to be on it and you think it, there's a lot of thinking. People are like, really? You do
really
about that?
I heard a bit on the Western Politics podcast today. There was an Elon Musk and Donald Trump interview, and the takeaway was Elon Musk is not a very good interviewer, so our jobs are safe, Eddie, when it comes to asking questions.
Phew. Okay, that's good to know.
So yeah, I'm still debating on which part of the 13 Valleys to do, because I might do the start and then jump over to Borrowdale and then do that run into Ambleside and get the bus back to Keswick. But I've done all of that. I've done all that as a recce. But the bits I haven't done logistically are quite tricky as far as transport's concerned. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. But the big news this week in the Thwaites household is A-level results incoming on Thursday. Yeah, good luck. My goodness me, good luck to everybody. I know they're not our demographic, 18-year-old A-level students, but if anyone's out there listening and they've done...
Has Esme ever listened to the podcast?
Goodness me, no.
No, my kids.
I'm not even that self-indulgent. I would kind of put it on the car. No, I've had enough of it by the time I press release. Esme's pretty chilled at the moment, actually.
She's got that vibe, hasn't she?
She's done the graft.
Yeah.
I think, so fingers crossed the celebration pizza on Thursday night. But that is it. Yeah, hopefully get a long run done. I've done my workout and maybe that midweek long run, which was elusive in my Lakeland 100 training. No gym though. It's finding the time to fit the gym in.
Oh, I know. I can't fit that in at the moment. I can't. I can foam roll. I can stretch. I can do a little bit, but I can't. We've just got to be kind to ourselves, Gaza. We're sort of whining about running 10 hours a week. 50 miles, 25 miles for the There's somebody that's going to be putting in some big miles and some big vert. Will have started. He didn't want to share publicly until he started because if you've ever done any of his races, he is a high ball of energy, one of the top race directors out there, super nice guy, super fast runner. And he has set himself the challenge of running his own race, but it wasn't enough to just run the race. Oh no, he is going to run the Dragon's Back route from start to finish without stopping. The magnificent Shane Orley is out on the course now, supported by lots of celebrity. Who was it that's doing the first leg with him? Oh my God.
Robin Cassidy, Damo, who else was
and
the
Lisa
one?
Watson.
Lisa, oh my goodness me, smoking fast.
They're going to start racing, Lisa and Robin. Come on, Jade. But gosh, you would three of the toppest, bestest superstars, fell runners out there that are, and he's got all sorts of, lots of mates that he's probably helped over races, given finish line hugs to, and are now coming back. And he is going to try and run the whole route. Supported. He was super excited about it. We spoke to him just last week, but also super nervous, and that's why he hasn't done a lot of. He didn't want people to know before he set out because he's just like focused and he just wants to enjoy it.
What a challenge. What an adventure. With your mates in the mountains. Oh my goodness me. I
hope the weather's kind. I hope your legs are strong, Shane. I hope maybe you've tuned in because you need a little bit of time with Gary and Eddie. And if you're listening or if anyone's supporting is listening, we send big love and we can't wait to hear all about it. And don't beat Gary's time when he stopped and slept as well, because he could get a bit.
Yeah, we won't be friends anymore. I think it's super fitting, of all the people to take on this challenge, Shane Orley. Yeah. Best of luck, Shane.
Best of luck. We'll be thinking about you. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you all so much for sticking with us to the bitter end. Please share this episode. Pop over to YouTube and subscribe. Hit all those likes, shares, thumbs up, little messages. We love them all. That's how we grow. Keep showing up week after week. Thanks to Precision Fuel and Hydration, X Miles, Phoenix Light, and Protein Rebel for sponsoring the show. Remember, new customers discount codes T15 for Protein Rebel and T24 Precision Hydration. Thanks to our partners and Patreons too. Thank you, as ever, for your ongoing support.
Be kind to your future self. Breathe and believe. And don't forget, when you're in the trenches, feeling a bit sorry for yourself, this pressure that we put ourselves under. It is a privilege. Take time in all you do, and remember, there is always time for a cup of tea and a talk. My name is Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was episode 84 of the Tea and Trails podcast.